Guaranteed there's always a couple people that stroll in here like with almost immediately after I start the stream. Once I get somebody in the chat here, at least I know that we're live and things are looking good.
Excuse me. You want to load the game in so it's ready to go?
I see Jareen just jumped on the game here. Oh, it says we got one viewer here right now, so that's good. So that's Spider-Man is the first in the room. There we go. So we know that we are absolutely live. So all right, I think. Oh yeah, I'm at this level here with the big booby lady. Jeez Louise.
Ellie.
Ellie is smelly. What's going on here? All right, find the buzzard camp. All right, so now that we actually have a few people in the room, we got Spider-Man 356 who's saying hello to you, Colt.
What's going on, Spider-Man?
All right, guys, so let's get this show on the road. We're a few minutes running past, so thank you so much for tuning in and checking out Episode 12 of Mixing It Up with Newf. I'm your host, Newf Newcomb, and with me tonight is a special guest. We have the one, the only, the charismatic and super talented Colt Eastwood. He's been one of my favorite streamers ever since I stumbled across his channel and stuff. Colt has blown me away with his content, how well he puts stuff together. I think he's one of the best out there, and I'm so happy for Colt, whose channel is absolutely blown up in the last few months. Probably got just as much haters as Crap Gamer now, which is crazy, but Colt is doing a great job, and you always know you're doing a great job when people come out to hate. And Spider-Man says the sound is good. We got Free Jack up in here. We got Siberia in the house. Spider-Man is here. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate it. So anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to let my guest get a word in edgewise here. Colt Eastwood, how the hell are you, man? Thanks for being on Episode 12 of Mixing It Up with Newf.
How could I resist? I mean, I'm on here with Newf Newcomb. We're playing one of my favorite games of this generation. Well, one of my favorite series, and I'm excited. I've played this game like probably 8 times. I love this game.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. It's a game that, you know, I have loved it, but it just kind of, I don't know, it kind of weaseled by me. I guess there was just other games out at the time, and a lot of my friends kind of jumped on the bandwagon before I got into it, and I just kind of fell behind. And you know how it is sometimes when your buddies are kind of like, hey, well, I'm done with that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I played so much of it alone. I kept converting people to play it. Iridium! Yeah, I kept converting people to play the game, so I'd end up going back and playing through the whole first chunk of the game, and then they'd go off on their own, and just absolutely love this game.
Armored Reaper,
and it looks great. The remaster looks good.
Yeah, it does look really good. Iron Galaxy had a part to do with that. Iron Galaxy as well, the team behind the Killer Instinct game as well, I do believe.
Yep. Yeah, they worked on this port. They did a great job.
Armored Reaper.
So let's go find this buzzard camp while you.
Yeah, let's go find this camp. So, hey guys, we are playing Borderlands 2 right now. I'm just playing this on my standard Xbox One S, so no, you know, enhancements or nothing like that. But it still looks fantastic. Runs deadly. So, what's going on, Jago Kukin?
That looks like the car of a
Jago.
murderer. I'm digging it.
Yeah, there's no enhancement. This game will look the same on my X as it will your S, which it just looks fantastic.
Well, and with these kind of graphics as well, like they kind of look good regardless because of the cell shading. They kind of pop anyway, but I'm sure they definitely look quite sharp and stuff on the X for sure. I'm playing most of these backwards. Well, this is kind of backwards with that, but like some of the games that didn't get Xbox One X enhancements, it's just I don't see the point in stocking up my Xbox One X for those games because I don't have a lot of room right at the moment. So game sound is too loud. Hang on one second.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna keep shooting while you get it figured out.
Oh yeah, come back.
This could be really. I would bring it way down in my. Yeah.
Thanks for that, guys.
How's it now, guys? While I'm shooting.
I think we're good.
That's what I love about Mixer is the latency is like almost 0. So like we can talk to you guys and you can say something right away. You know, there's no waiting for everything to catch up.
Absolutely. So guys, I'm sure a lot of you fellas in this that are here in the chat are familiar with Colt and his content and all that stuff, and he's just a great guy. So Colt, take us back, man. Like, first of all, I mean, a lot of us are 30s, 40s. How old are you, man? I think I asked you
72.
Before. Yeah. 72. You,
very old.
You sound really good.
I'm old enough to have enjoyed my first bit of gaming on the television.
Television,
which was a fantastic.
Oh, well, you
know the ColecoVision. The ColecoVision.
You weren't very
It was
intelligent.
in television for us. It was a great system. It had a really cool sound. The games were fun. You know,
the completionist in me is like
it was a good time. So I have kind of a weird spotted history with gaming.
Yeah.
Basically, I missed out on almost all of the 90s and the early 2000s for gaming.
Really? What happened?
It's so funny. My younger brother made fun of me for being a Nintendo freako, like in the early 90s. He said that all of my friends and all of his friends just thought that's all I cared about was Nintendo. And I basically threw down the Super Nintendo controller and yelled at my brother and put him in a chokehold, and I kind of swore off gaming for a little bit.
Yeah.
but then again, I was just starting high school.
So you kind of almost.
I was a different guy.
You kind of got bullied out of. You kind of got bullied essentially
from my own brother.
From your own brother. It's sad.
I love my. Well, I look up to my younger brother. We're 18 months apart. He's really cool, and we've always like had fun together and hung out and stuff. And he had more friends and was getting all the girls. So I was like 15 or 16. I said, "Oh, all right, I'm done with video games," and I went full bore into the whole high school life and had a good time. I don't regret it. It was good.
So you were like,
basically what I missed.
You were like, I could be playing Angry Bird, but instead I'd rather get my bird angry.
Yeah, back then it was.
Yeah, it was an Angry Bird back then.
Played. Yeah, like the last game I was playing was F-Zero and Street Fighter 2, and I'd had my fill, and I said, forget it. So.
Yeah,
I missed out on the N64 kind of, you know.
Oh, that's kind of. Well, in a lot of ways, that might have been one of the best generations to miss, I suppose, if you're going to miss it. And the only reason I say that is because that's when, like, the N64 era was when 3D games were just very infantile. And I found a lot of them were very rough around the edges, not only graphically, but, like, control, camera-wise. You go back and even play some of Rare's best games. You play even the Banjo-Kazooie series, and you know what? Like, while they're still fun, they're not near as good as what, like, they were when we remember them, right? Because it's just, they're so rough.
Oh, yeah. But the PlayStation 1 was like a changer. That's when I kind of got back into gaming for a little bit. I was just getting started into college and stuff, and I had to be really careful. Oh, I'm going to die. Because...
Django says you missed out on Way of the Warrior on 3DO.
See, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what the 3DO is. I've heard people talk about it. It was like an $800 console. Is that the one?
Yeah, it was one of the most expensive fucking consoles ever. Yeah, that was right up there with. It was even more expensive than the Neo Geo.
Yeah, it was like that type of thing. Yeah. But I got a PlayStation 1 like when it'd been out a little while, and I played Metal Gear Solid and Gran Turismo and just stuff like that. Had a really good time with that. But
Jago called you a damn fraud.
A break from there. I know. But so the cool thing about that story is when everyone was like knee deep in the 360, I was like, man, I really want an Xbox, but I don't want to pay $300 for one. So I bought an original Xbox off of my coworker for $150, and it came with a grocery bag full of games. And one of the games in there was Halo 2, which I played Halo 1 on the PC when I kind of was dinking around with gaming, you know, when I had spare time. But I played Halo 2 and GTA San Andreas. And GTA San Andreas stuck that needle of gaming into my arm so hard that I never went back. I had that original Xbox for about 6 months. Took it to GameStop, got like $150 with it for all the games controllers, and bought myself a 360. And like I have been like jammed, packed full of gaming ever since. Like full on Mr. Gamer Nerd.
Yo, just hey, what's going on, Lady Foxfire's in the chat. Welcome to Coma.
Hey, Fox.
Thanks, Coma. I forget your name there. It just went past me in the chat, but got a new follower, so thanks for stopping by, checking out the stream. And Colt Eastwood rocking out here, episode 12, mixing it up with Newf. Just trying to complete some objectives here now. Looks like something up. Oh, something up on top of the building here.
Shooting and talking.
Shooting and talking. I know, and it's difficult too. No, I know, especially when you're trying to concentrate and play like a co-op experience, you know. But it's like I'd rather be doing this and getting shot than being like shot by a bunch of twiddle dicks on fucking Call of Duty or something. You know what I mean?
This game's just fun no matter what.
Oh yeah. And PUBG, I wouldn't be able to. I'd be just getting. Well, I get annihilated even when I'm concentrating. So I'd hate to see what I'd be like if I was trying to play that and do a mixer stream. So, did I hit 300 followers? If I did, that's pretty cool, man. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Dude, that'd be fantastic.
I know. Want to thank Colt for his avatar. Oh, Jago thanks you for his avatar again, Colt.
Oh. Yeah, Jago's was fun, man. That's just cool. Well, I didn't even really have to make his avatar. It kind of made itself, you know. He told me exactly what he wanted. I drew the character based on what he looked like, and oh man, he loves it. Well, that makes me feel really good. And like doing these logos for people, like they're so satisfying to see them online. It makes you feel so good.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, man.
Yeah,
well, you're doing a great job, man. They look amazing. So, you're definitely nailing it for people. They seem to be loving it. That's the main thing. So, my next question for you, then, Colt. Well, come back again, keeping with the old school here. What was the first? I think you just said, but yeah, you said you had the Intellivision was your first console. So, what was your favorite old console? What's your kind of favorite new console?
My favorite old console would probably be the NES.
Okay.
I mean, because I played, I don't know, 200 games on that thing, and and you know, games are so simple, but we played them for hours, you know.
Right.
What's my favorite new console? Shoot, probably the 360. More current is probably the 360 because it had so many great games. I mean, I make people mad when I say I think the library on the PS3 and the 360 era is better than what we've had this generation overall. But mostly I mean that because
System.
Oh yeah,
he's a Sega guy. Yeah,
I mean that mostly because some of my all-time favorite games happen to be from that era of that generation, like Red Dead Redemption and Fallout 3 and Mass Effect trilogy and Borderlands 1 and 2. You know, I could go on and on, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Afterburner on the Master System was amazing. Underachiever, just punch. Underachiever, what's going on, brother? Underachiever's
what's up,
here.
Underachiever? Hey, Underachiever, remember when we were trying to get the Goliaths to level all the way up and fight each other? And we were laughing our heads off. This is such a cool little challenge in the game. It's so impossible. But we finally got the achievement to crack for both of us. And we were like, I think we called in, I mean, I think we were both sick that day. And we played this game for like 8 hours. What was I going to say about, I was going to say the X. The X is like, oh my gosh. It's so great.
Yeah, it's the first time that we've ever had a console really in a long, maybe ever that's had a console that, hang on, I'll get you up. First time we really had a console that, you know, has been able to deliver, like you said, that not only great console experience, but finally has, you know, that PC quality experience where we're playing at, you know, amazing resolutions and better frame rates, and games are starting to look and run now more like the developers intended them to when they, you know, when they first put them out. So that's pretty cool.
It's robot fighting time!
Yeah,
Stinking corpse in the house, Siberia!
Stinking corpse.
We got corpse in here, Siberia. Go ahead.
This doesn't apply to a lot of people, but the game DVR is such a game changer for me. It made the $500 purchases of this console like just easy, like just so good.
Yeah,
because I can record these games. Yeah, I can record these games at their full quality with no compromise, and the recordings always work. I never have problems with them. It's absolutely really good for me personally. I love it. And I know I talk to Dealer a lot too. He's enjoying that perk too. Come here, Marauder. Come here,
Underachiever says no compromise. I'm triggered. Yeah, you.
Oh yeah, I know.
Just like all the Sony people. Yeah, oh, you guys are your no compromises.
No, but the game DVR really is no compromise. It's got a really high bit rate, and if you... Man, I'm not doing too hot. I'm a little under level.
Did I get you? So you're 11, and I'm...
Yeah, but
I'm down too.
What? I'm second wind. Shoot, where are you at? You right here?
Yeah.
Oh, I might get killed trying to get you.
I think I got this guy if I can get the kill. All right. Oh.
Oh no!
Oh
I got
no!
knocked back.
Hang on.
Oh, good luck. That guy's head's gonna come off.
If I can get a hit kill here. Hang on, guys. We're just trying to get out of this spot. No.
Oh no, we're not getting out of this. There's no way.
Oh, two of us went down. Oh no! Siberia doesn't like tax time. He always pays in. Pay the tax, man. Pay the tax, man. That's it.
Ugh.
Well, you know, the thing with Xbox, at least for the, like a lot of the time, it's hitting 4K, and you know, it's striving for the native 4K in a lot of games. Where like PlayStation is always promoting their 4K, but like it's very few games on the PlayStation that are hitting the 4K with the Pro. You know what I mean? So it's like, ugh.
That's something I had to consider when I bought my PlayStation a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
because
I mean, especially for how cheap.
Yeah, you just got the Slim, didn't you?
Yeah, for how cheap you can get a Slim or an Xbox One S, you know.
Yeah.
You have to make that decision, and for you know, the best games run it. The best pro games run at 1440. Well, let's be honest. It's not just a generalization. You know, the best enhanced big AAA new games run at 1440. Right. And I don't know. I kind of have that argument with people, you know, like, why isn't Xbox, all these games all doing 4K? It's like, well, why aren't they all doing 60? You know, like, why can't they do 4K and 60? And I'm like, well, I didn't buy a 4K TV to play it at half the frame rate or even a quarter of the frame rate.
Exactly.
You know, and I didn't buy a 4K TV to game on for 3 years. I bought it to game on for hopefully the next 10 years. And
yeah,
next consoles are going to be closer to 4K on more games, so...
I'm not upgrading for a while. I just spent, you know, just before Christmas, me and the wife spent $1,800 getting a 70-inch 4K LG, and it's an amazing television. And you know, I've had 2 new TVs now in the last probably year and a half. You know, 4K television, so I'm good for a while now until one of them shits the bed. So,
yeah. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. Hopefully they last a while. That's why I mean I could have went with. I wanted to go OLED, but I feel like OLEDs are not proven as much, and they are like a lot more. You get less size, and you got to pay a lot more money. I mean, I don't know. I know they're better, but is it that much better? You know what I mean? So I went with the 70 and the LCD, one of the top brands in the LG. So that was my trade-off. Bigger television, more of a proven technology per se. It's been around longer.
Yeah, it's just like anything else. You have to decide what meets your budget, you know. And what makes sense for you. That's the advice I got when I bought my 4K TV. You know, am I going to buy a $2,000 TV, or am I going to buy one that's under $1,000? It's like, well, what are my needs? You know, everybody's different.
Yeah. So Colt, what games are you playing these days, man? What's floating your boat, and what are you looking forward to in 2018? I mean, Sea of Thieves is getting all the talk lately. Did you even play that? Are you excited about it at all? Like, what's floating your boat, man?
I've been playing the beta with a different variety of friends, and we all just laugh our butts off when we play. And it's funny, that game could be boring, but I've never been bored when I play it because we have so much fun, and we laugh our heads off. And that's before we even go and fill up our tankards and barf all over each other. I don't know. I think it's a special game. I think people are quick to dismiss it, and that's fine. I mean, you can always play it for $10 a month, or just for 1 month and try it out. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. But people are really enjoying it, and the entry fee is pretty accessible.
$10.
And you're gonna make your own.
$10 a month on Game Pass. You cannot really lose.
Yeah, and you're gonna make your own experience, your own fun in that game. And there's certain games that's what they do. That's Sea of Thieves.
You know,
But,
even at full
what if-
price, no, well, Sea of Thieves is a full price game, isn't it? Outside of Game Pass, I think that one is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You know, I haven't even looked. I'm assuming it's 60.
yeah, 60 bucks. I'm still not getting the Game Pass. I'm not coming around because I'm an old-fashioned bastard, and I'm going with the discs. As always.
Wait a minute. Let me educate you, my son. Okay, I can see you want to stay with discs because you have a nice big bookshelf full of awesome games, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of a tough one, right? But let's assume that, and this is probably pretty accurate, that Xbox will have 4 big exclusives in 2018: Sea of Thieves,
Yep.
State of Decay 2, and Crackdown, and Forza Horizon 4.
Yes.
If you get Xbox Game Pass for the whole year, for the next 6 months, basically, right?
Yeah.
That's what, $60, and you get 4 $60 games. So I mean, State of Decay is $30, right?
I know.
But isn't that crazy?
Well, it is crazy.
It's like, it almost makes it irresistible.
I'm not gonna have the argument with anybody on why I should buy it, because I mean it's a no-brainer. I'm just being stubborn because that's just the way I roll. Because I mean it's pretty logical. Like, you just made perfect sense, and I get it. Like, I get what people are saying. I don't question that. But my thought is, like, here's my thought. I'm already paying $60 a year to play PlayStation. I'm paying $60 for Xbox now.
Yeah.
Pretty soon I'll be paying $20 to play anything from Nintendo, or maybe more. On top of that, I got my Netflix. On top of that, I got my WWE network. On top of that, my cable. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of adding a constant bill to my fucking monthly account. You know what I mean? So, like, I know it's
your cell phone bill.
Yeah, it's $12.
Yeah,
I get it.
hand.
It's $12, but at the end of the year, that's still 12 times 12 is what? 100 and what's that? $136, something like that for me here in Canada. That's just to play games. Yeah, I know. Like, yes, if I bought 3 exclusives, it would be more than $130. But the bottom line is, like, yeah, like Jago's saying in the chat, 144. Thanks, Free Jack. I can't do math. Like, bottom line is $144. Well, say if all 3 of those games were like $80. I mean, that's no brainer. That's that's almost $100 in savings right there. But here's the bottom line. First of all, I have to care about all of those games that Microsoft's putting on, right? So if I don't really give a shit for Sea of Thieves, I don't care for Crackdown or State of Decay, then what am I getting? The older titles that I already have on disc anyway. So, and bottom line, you only have enough time to play so many games. We already have backlogs that are massive, so what, I'm going to get Game Pass and add another 40 games or 50 games probably to that list? So it's like, I get where people are coming from, but I'm just old-fashioned. At the end of the day, too, if I buy a shitty-ass game, I buy a dud. Like, say I really fucking can't stand Sea of Thieves a month later, I can go back to the store, trade it in, and get, well, especially if I trade it in early, I can get a lot of value for it. I mean, if I don't, you know what I mean? So, like, there's pros and cons, but there's way more pros, but that's just me. Again, I'm a rarity. Me and Jago Kukan are rarities when it comes to this stuff, we're the exception to the rule, not the rule. So that's all I'm going to say, man. It's just, that's why I choose not to go, because I'm still a collector, and I don't want to be the one pushing the industry forward toward the digital age. I mean, it's coming whether I like it or not, but that's just me. But anyway, it's not about me. The show is about you and all your good stuff. So yeah, man. So did I ask you what your most anticipated title is for this year?
Come on back.
Yeah, but no one's gonna like the answer.
I'll bring it.
It's Crackdown 3. It really is. I can't help it. I am really excited to play that game.
Why not? It looks fucking good.
I did this research for this video I put out about Crackdown last week, and I've watched this footage for so long. I don't know. The way I explain it is, those of you who played enough games to where if you watch gameplay closely, you can tell how it would feel and how it would play if you were playing it. That's how I feel with Crackdown. I know exactly how that game's going to feel. It's like the perfect game for me. I want to play it. Dang it, I want Microsoft to open their mouths and just say, hey, let's just say this. Say, Crackdown's still a thing, guys. It's not dead. There's this weird, apprehension with Microsoft about their exclusives. They're afraid to talk about them in case a nuclear bomb goes off in one of their studios and they have to cancel the game, you know? Something out of their control. It's like,
right.
you know, stuff happens, and I think they canceled Scalebound for a reason. I think the game was looking like a turd, probably. Maybe it was running like crap, or it wasn't up to standards, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, a game like
Scalebound,
that was pushed that hard for that long to get canceled. Something was definitely amiss, and I mean, you know, well, even recently, what was it that the guy, the developer of that studio, Platinum or something, he made this weird ass tweet about. I don't know, was it Nintendo or something? He made this really arrogant tweet, and someone's like, "No wonder that fucking." Sounds like he's a bit of an arrogant prick, this guy that fucking makes that game.
Well,
so.
I don't know how many teams Platinum has, but the year they were supposed to be done with Scalebound, they had just finished and released Near Automata or Automata, or however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah. Hey, you're up on top of the cliff. I heard
digital.
Figure out to get up there.
Oh, I just jumped down. We're good now.
Okay.
So
did we get all our stuff?
I was like, Yes, we did. We just need to turn in at Ellie. Wish I could hold a button and summon a car. So I don't know. I was one of those that was like never excited about Scalebound. Every time I saw it, I thought it looked really cheesy because I just don't like those type of games. But when people flipped out when it got canceled, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's one less game. Oh, that guy's gonna run me over.
I see him.
Gosh.
Yeah, we got to get another car here. Yeah, I mean, well, Days Gone, Jago put Days Gone, he's anticipating that in chat, but that's been pushed till next year. So State of Decay is kind of the big thing right now, and at $30 you can't go wrong with that game. And like you said, you can get it in Game Pass either which way. That's not a game for everybody, but I played State of Decay recently. Actually, I was just streaming it a few days ago, and it's a brilliant game. It's definitely has an addiction to it. So, and the fact now that you'll play the new one with the 4-player co-op, man, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and the other thing about Game Pass, if you're worried about not owning the game, like, and you still have the subscription for like a year because, you know, something decent's always kind of there for you. That makes it worth the money. If you decide to buy State of Decay like a year later, you're like, you know, I want to own that game, but it'll always be in Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird, that's kind of tough to say that. Like, they already said all the first-party titles, when they go in, they stay.
And it makes sense.
But, you know, you can always buy those games. By the time you want to buy one of those Game Pass games, they're going to be pretty cheap.
Right, that's true,
Because PS4 and Xbox has been selling digital games at a really low price this past couple years. Like, they've been rivaling what Steam's been doing when they put games up for sale. It's pretty impressive.
You can buy, what was it, that Dead Rising 4 next to, like, they're practically giving that game away at this point.
Oh man, another crappy game that I loved.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I liked the original Dead Rising 3. You know, obviously a more restricted environment, and it was just different. It just didn't have quite the same charm as the third. In my opinion, I still thought it was great, but the third game I thought really, like, the third game was the first one in the series that made me want to buy it. Whereas what was it, Dead Rising 1 and 2? I was like, nah. I tried playing the first one, and that whole time limit bullshit just drove me nuts. So, yeah. Jago says he'll play State of Decay with friends on Game Pass. Well, there you go, man. That's the perfect reason to get Game Pass, because if you're not hyped on a game, or if you're not sold on it, you're not out a ton of money.
Like, you have access to open betas or something, you know, because let's be honest, like, we spend $10 so quickly on the most trivial garbage. Like, as dealers said, that's like 2 coffees, 2 Starbucks or something like that, you know?
Exactly. All right, we got to drop this stuff.
I don't drink coffee,
here, right?
but I get a large chocolate milk from Starbucks, and they charge me like almost $4 for it. Like, it's just milk and some chocolate syrup, you Nazis.
Well, yeah. If you look at it in that perspective too, like $12 in Canada, 10 in the States. I mean, that's pretty much for here now. That's like 1 Big Mac meal, you know. And fuck, most of us will probably eat like 5 or 6 meals at McDonald's a month. So, yeah, you got a great point, right? It's just the commitment to making that payment all the time, right? Like, it's, you know.
Yeah.
I suppose once you get at it, it's not a big issue. You know what I mean? I totally get it. But anyway. Go ahead.
I'd ask some people in the chat. There's probably some people who've been paying for Game Pass for a month or two.
Well, they're talking about
do you
deer
feel
in
the
chat.
sting, or do you feel the sting, or of paying that $10 a month, or is it like out of sight, out of mind? I'm enjoying the benefits, you know. Let us know. I know I'm not feeling the sting.
Mogzy has asked when State of Decay 2 is out. I think it is May 22nd, if my memory is correct. So it's coming real soon here. Thanks for coming in, Mogzy. Siberia, Armored Reaper, Jago,
hold on, don't go yet. I got
Spider-Man, Free Jack. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We got 12 people up in here watching the stream right now. What'd you say? You got to go take a piss?
Good group. No, I don't need to. We're doing a live stream, so I hooked up a plastic bag. No, I'm just kidding.
He's got the plastic bag ready.
Quest. Oh my God, I don't mess around.
Colt Eastwood, so dedicated, he hooks up the colostrophe bag. I was going to say, Crap Gamer puts out so many videos, I'm pretty sure he wears one to get through its day.
Oh my God.
Just kidding, Crap. If you listen, just kidding, Crap. We know we love you, buddy. Got like 3 or 4
people
videos
are always
a day.
like, Colt, when you need to do more videos, Colt. I'm like, some of mine take 10 hours to make, man.
I believe it, brother. I've seen some of your long ones, man.
But I enjoy it.
All right, so Colt, game-wise, what other games? Well, let's ask you some fun questions. This is outside of gaming, people know, obviously, like I said, you've got some of the best PCs. You've got a PlayStation, finally. Let's talk about just regular things, man. Like, what kind of movies are you into, and what's your favorite movies of all time? I'm sure people would love to know that.
Okay. I'll just think there's 3 I can think of right off. Wow,
boom,
gosh,
bring it.
That's such a tough question. I love Rocky 4.
Nice.
Love it.
Drago.
I love Forrest Gump and Shawshank Redemption.
Nice.
And my new favorite right now is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
I love that movie. Oh, it's so good.
Ben Stiller, right?
Yeah, it's so good. It's just a good movie.
My favorite Ben Stiller movie,
Anyway.
I gotta say, was Tropical Thunder. Jesus, did I ever laugh at that. Oh my God. The fact that they even did Robert Downey Jr. up as a black dude was hilarious as shit. Just that alone was funny. I was like, man, what's with that? Oh man, and then Jack Black, he can be funny at times too. It's crazy. We got some guy.
Dude.
Armored Reaper says his favorite was Glory. Spider-Man's Black Panther was great. Yes, it was a fantastic movie. Free Jack loved Point Break. The first one, yeah, I thought the first one was way better than that second piece of trash. Glory was a good movie. That's the one Denzel Washington got his made his name in, I do believe. That was a fantastic movie. Those are good choices, though. I can't, like I said, I haven't seen Walter Mitty, but the other ones you mentioned, like Shawshank Redemption, I mean, my God, that movie is just incredible.
Oh,
yeah. Tim Robbins, I mean, and that was like pretty much his only good movie. I mean, he hasn't done fuck all after that. But you know, Morgan,
he was in Nothing to. He was in Nothing to Lose with Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, between Morgan
that
Freeman,
movie's hilarious.
Morgan Freeman and Samuel L. Jackson have been in more movies than porn stars have been in women. I'm telling you, crazy.
Oh my God!
Seemed like they're in everything. Jago likes Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jago's hardcore.
How about music? Are any movies you're looking forward to coming out? Are you planning to see the? I'm curious. Are you planning to see the new Tomb Raider next week? That looks pretty awesome. I've heard good things already.
I don't know. I don't know how good that'll be. I'm looking forward to Creed 2 to be made.
Oh,
with,
Creed 2 is gonna be good.
Stallone and Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, they're fighting Drago's kid.
Jordan, yeah, is that true or is that just a rumor?
No, that's the story. He's going to be fighting Ivan Drago's kid.
Are you serious?
Yep. Yep.
I was just telling my buddy today, I'm like, it's probably a rumor, but I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, I follow Stallone on Twitter, and yeah, I know he's tweeted it out. That's the shit, man.
He is the coolest dude ever, man.
Oh man, Stallone's awesome. You see his daughters? Holy smoke, they're good looking. Damn.
Well, look at Stallone. He's a good-looking dude. The guy's like really aged well, hasn't he?
Yeah, my daughters is really good looking. Yeah, stay away from you assholes.
I can't do Stallone very good. I'm more of an Arnold guy.
Yeah, I know that.
Our impression?
Yeah, it started to turn into a really low low registered Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, there was a couple spots where lots of consistency, but overall it was pretty good. J-Dubs thought it was great, and I never heard crap laugh so hard in like fucking months as that. Yeah, they thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I got to speed it up a little bit and just watch the tone, but yeah, it's pretty good. The guys, like, I think they want to make it a regular feature, but we'll see. It's like, oh, look at this, it's Merry Midgets.
Oh, have you done this before?
Nope.
Oh,
Alan
man, I
Savage,
got
what's
backed up
going
into a
on,
wall.
brother?
Yeah, I'm throwing my grenades out.
Alright, how about music-wise, man? What kind of music? I know you used to play some guitar, right?
Yeah, that's me playing the guitar in my intro.
Sweet. That I didn't know.
I'm kind of in a local, I'm not a local band, but I'm kind of in a little cover band with some friends of mine, and we were gigging a couple years ago, but we're doing a show this summer, just one thing, just for fun. So I'm the lead singer and the rhythm guitar player.
Sweet. See, people didn't know that about you. That's the whole point of this podcast. So learn a few things about our favorite podcasters. There you go, guys.
So I'm kind of a nerd. I'm a nerd with my music. I like, let me see if I can get you. I like older music, so I like 80s music a lot. So a lot of half of the songs we do are like 80s pop songs, like like Journey type stuff. I like to sing kind of high. I have like a higher register voice.
Gotcha.
So
I had a high school band, but that's
I only like
as I
singing
got.
stuff that's. I like to sing stuff that's really challenging, which sucks now that I'm older. There's a nice grenade mod for you.
What do you call challenging? What's something
like
trying to attempt?
Boston.
Oh, okay.
Boston and Journey and stuff like that, you know.
Gotcha. Jago likes corn. I like corn too. I eat it on the cob. No.
Oh God.
Megadeth's awesome. Yeah, I saw them at concert. They were fucking awesome. Stinking Corpse like Slayer. Siberia likes music from the '60s. See, I like some of the popular bands too that some people don't like. Like I'm almost ashamed to admit it because I take flack for it, but I love like fucking. I really like what do you call them? Limp Bizkit. I don't know, man. There's something about Limp Bizkit music that
really?
I fucking love Limp Bizkit, man. Fred Durst, I get a kick out of that guy, dude, and especially what's his name on the guitar there, fucking can't
Buckethead?
No, it's not Buckethead. The guy in lead guitarist for fucking Limp Bizkit. He's fucking awesome. Wears those big black contacts all the time. Wes Borland. Thank you, Ozmark, and thanks for jumping into the stream.
That's right.
You're in?
Jeez.
Great. Roland should be around here somewhere.
Alrighty,
Sure you can
alrighty.
handle yourself, but if anything happens to Roland,
So that's cool, man. You play the guitar. What else do you
Make
play?
sure
Any
nothing
other
happens to
instruments,
Roland.
or you have any
Yeah,
other secret talents besides being a graphic designer and a fucking musician and a great video producer? What else you got going on?
Yeah, I play the piano too.
Play the piano, nice.
Yeah. I do a whole bunch of stuff, you know. People get a little nuts when they get mad or disagree about like my YouTube stuff, but it's like, you know, this isn't all I do. You know, I have a lot of different things that I do, and I can't be an expert in video gaming. Like people expect me to have everything perfect when I do a video, and it's like, you know, I don't live and breathe this as much as, you know, it's
some people.
No, anyway, it's funny. I did that Crackdown video, and I always write a script out so I can make sure I have all my ducks in a row. And in the script I wrote that Crackdown would be at 4K 30. And when I recorded my voiceover, I said 60 just out of habit because we're talking about so many 60 frames games. And I'm like, no! I didn't know until a couple hours after it was live when someone said, it's going to be 60? I'm like, oh no. And they took annotations away on YouTube just 2 weeks ago. So you can't put up a little flag that says...
And he asked you about his wieners.
Oh, hey, Salty.
Salty, what do you ask him about your wieners? Ask him about his wieners. I don't know. Like, does he play with his wieners? Is that his talent? I don't know what he's trying to say. He's a dog whisperer. Oh, he just went grocery shopping, apparently. He just got back, so he must have bought some big wieners. I don't know.
Salty. How you been, bud?
That's right.
I'm not asking
That's what you do for your wife, eh? You go home, you go to the supermarket, you bring her back some cucumbers and wieners, and you tell her to pick one, and that tells her what kind of fucking sausage she's looking for. She wants the big wiener, or she wants the fucking cucumber.
You're gonna get yourself banned from Mixer. Nice grenade mod for you. Poor little Colt Eastwood's virgin ears.
That's my secret plan, Colt. I want to be the first guy that we're gonna get completely banned.
Hey, here's a little mini challenge here. If you'll couch, jump on this couch there.
Where? What? Where? Oh, jump on the couch?
Yeah, and it'll say challenge completed F your couch. I don't know if it's co-op or if it'll pop up on yours.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, F your couch.
There's 6 of them or something in the game.
Oh,
or in
okay.
this
So,
level
yeah,
area.
1 or 5 or something. Yeah. It's oh, look, there's a propane tank.
Yeah, whatever it said.
Sorry, man.
Whoa,
Go
whoa,
ahead.
whoa,
Continue.
whoa, whoa.
Didn't mean to cut you off, but what were you saying?
I don't even know what the heck we were talking about live. We were talking about, I played piano, like
Right.
Fairy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I like to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you're not going to tell me you were a former gigolo at some point, are you?
I used to sing Just a Gigolo by Dave Lee Roth.
Just a gigolo. Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
Did like a
great
karaoke competition with that thing.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
So that's another thing. I have a couple of plaques too for that.
Ah,
So
the only
I've done a bunch
plaque
of
I've ever
karaoke
got-
competitions.
only plaque
Oh,
I ever
no.
got was off of my teeth.
So yeah, I've done some singing competitions and stuff. But the YouTube stuff's been really rewarding and really fun because I've met more people doing YouTube than I've ever done anything else. It's been really just so rewarding, and to be able to meet people like you and the other people that I talk to on Twitter, on Xbox Live, and people that join the party chats, and people like these guys on the Mixer stream, like it's been so awesome. Oh, I'm down.
You've been asked by Armored Reaper to do a song in the chat. You gotta sing.
You have to, well,
You've been
like,
challenged.
sing something, like sing what? Sing what? What are you gonna sing?
Uptown Girl.
Oh, God. Billy Joel's like one of my favorite first singers when I was really little.
Sing Billy Idol. The rebel yell. Come on, wow.
What? See, Newf's got it figured out.
In the midnight hour.
Yeah, he's cool, dude, isn't he? That guy hasn't aged either.
Beat It by Michael Jackson. Yes, I'd rather hear Beat It
Oh
by
my
Michael
gosh,
Jackson
you
than
can't
hear
sing
somebody
Michael
beat it in
Jackson.
the background, that's for sure.
What kind of
Beat
mixer
it.
stream is this?
Beat it. It takes her 3 minutes so she eats it.
Oh my gosh, you are gonna get banned.
Oh, probably.
Mikey Barr's gonna get really mad.
No, actually, I've got, I got my Mixer stream, it's 18 plus, so it's got the vulgar stuff and everything on it, so it should be pretty good. I don't think we got any 10-year-olds here right now, do we? Everybody here got some grass on the field, you know, we're not just starting puberty, right?
Oh God.
Colt's like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
God damn, my clean reputation.
Oh, Jago, no, my shit's turning gray.
Oh my gosh. Like Dealer Gaming likes to say, if Colt cusses, he'll melt.
Jago pulls down his pants and he fucking calls it fucking, what do you call it? Gandalf. What's going on, Gandalf? Gandalf the Grey.
Oh my gosh, I can't get you. I'm down. Oh my
I'm down
gosh.
too. I'm down too. Oh fuck. Hang on. Can we even revive each other when we're voting the status? Yes,
Nope.
I did.
Oh,
I
you
did
just
it.
got up.
Hang on.
Alright,
I did
let's
it.
keep this going.
Crawl back behind the pole. Almost got you. Team Greybush by Siberia. All right, man. All right. So let's. We got some other we'll come back to questions from the actual chat later on. They might have some more like the personal questions, but let's move into a couple topics, guys. We got some of the light and fluffy stuff out of the way, so we know that Colt Eastwood is multi-effing talented.
That was light?
Yeah, I know. That's the way it goes. My intriguing guests. Well, I've had all good guests. Everybody that's been on this Mixer stream with me so far have been nothing but first fucking class. That's the way I like it, So hang on, once I get you up here, I'll get into the next topic of discussion. There's been a few topics lately, and it's good.
I miss my ammo.
Man, I'm out of bullets.
Hang on, brother. I'm coming. I'll get you up. Jago's the first repeat performer, apparently. We did one stream there a while back, and apparently everything was like it was on Mixer, but like it didn't go to the VOD. So like, and there was some kind of technical issue. So I didn't realize there was nobody in the chat with us. Like, and I just thought, okay, maybe nobody's saying anything. I really wasn't paying much attention to, right? So, GKB up in the house. Is that like the governor?
Hey, what's up, GKB?
The governor, She-Wolf in the house. Jeez Louise, they're all coming in tonight.
Oh, both of them? All right. What's up, She-Wolf?
All right. So, yes, what is up? What is up? Our blood pressure. We are trying to play and talk at the same time. Newf can't multitask. The only thing I can do is talk and fart at the same time. Got that down to a science.
I might be a little under-leveled, but we'll see what happens here.
These guys are only 12.
There you go.
Too bad.
There's no escaping, Merc.
Oh yeah,
right, hang on. Yeah. So anyway, that one screwed up. So what I did the second week after, I brought Jago back on, and everything worked out fine the second time. But the funny part was, like, our first show, we just had a good chemistry going the first week. We had a lot of different questions and stuff, and it was kind of too bad. But I mean, our second one was still good. It's just, sometimes when you have that really good interview and then it goes by the wayside, you're like, damn, you know what I mean?
Yes, I've had Twitch do that too many times to me. My VOD is like not there. I'm like, oh, but that was good.
Yeah, it happened a couple times now with Mixer. I'm not sure what's been going on. I've sent in the reports, but they keep sending me back the same advice, and it doesn't fix anything. So it's just one of those things, you got to live with it, I guess. I mean, as time goes on, it'll progress. But anyway, yeah, man, great console corner tonight. GKB, Mogsy, what's going on, guys? Spider-Man, thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. You guys are fantastic. This stuff doesn't work without you guys. Well, let's get into some topics. Colt, like I said, sorry that we're gone in this for 46 minutes in. We haven't even gotten into the topics. But let's get into a couple here, and I'm sure we'll plow through these pretty good. Let's talk about the first one. Phil Spencer and Epic Games. They'd like to see crossplay. This is no secret. Phil has mentioned in the past. Epic Games has obviously said it. They've basically proven it on a couple occasions. They can do it with Fortnite. So I just want to know what your take is on crossplay overall, and really, why do you think Sony is holding back? What's going on, Hoppy or Hoopy? You're watching us at 5 a.m. You are the man, brother. That's the way to get up. With Newf Nukem and Colt Eastwood at 5 o'clock. We're better than a stiff coffee.
That's your morning coffee, yeah. Well, first part of crossplay is it's not like a universal thing, so it's not all that valuable right now. It's just kind of a step in the right direction, right? Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, now there's a couple issues with crossplay. PS4, Sony doesn't want to jump into it with Fortnite, but everybody else does, right? That's what's going on.
Right,
like,
right.
Isn't that what the situation is? Like, the Fortnite devs said me 3 when Phil Spencer said me 2, that he wants crossplay. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't know. Ask me a specific question about it. Like,
right. I mean, overall, I mean, it benefits gamers. There's no question about that, right? It's got to be a big benefit to gamers, and maybe, say, you're a one console owner that doesn't want to switch. You got a lot of friends on the opposite console. I mean, I can see how it'd be a big benefit. Personally, I don't really care either way. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. It's not something I'm going to lose sleep over. We've gone without it this long, so it's not a big deal. I think for Sony, they're just afraid that someone might shy away from buying their console is what I think will happen, because they're afraid that, hey, like essentially, right? Xbox has been known as being like sort of the better multiplayer console, right? Like it's not really like, you know, like that's kind of how people perceive it, right? So I think if like,
well, Xbox Live is fantastic,
so if they
reliable.
If they start bringing more games into crossplay, and then some of the people, they might just feel like, hey, well, why do I need to go out and get the PlayStation now if I can still play with some of my buddies who are on a PlayStation, but I can just go buy the Xbox, you know?
But that doesn't hold any water with me because the majority of gamers are on PlayStation, you know? It would be the opposite if PlayStation was trying to dig themselves out of the dirt and get people to buy their ding-dang console, you know?
Right.
Like, let's say that the Wii U, well, it's like, the Wii U wasn't selling very well, and they were trying to get crossplay, and Nintendo's like, well, then no one will buy we can't get anybody to buy our console as it is, you know? We need to give them a reason to buy it, you know? That's kind of the logic people are using. And Sony has no problem buying a console. I mean, there's people out there buying more than one of them, you know? They're selling like crazy.
Like, I don't know how crossplay essentially works when it comes to, say, servers, but do you think it could be a possibility that, say, you know, like PlayStation Network, it hasn't been as reliable or speedy as, say, Xbox. So do you think it could also, like, basically be maybe somebody's afraid that maybe their servers could get exposed, essentially, you know, if they're going against the Xbox or something like that? No?
No, I think, I heard today that one of the caveats for crossplay on Fortnite is Microsoft wants to host the service on Xbox Live. So, I don't know if that's even true, though.
Right.
So, I don't know what that's all about, but somebody said that. And there's just, it's kind of I don't know, it's one of those things. The developers have to do extra work to make sure that everybody can play together, and then you have cross-chat is not just, you don't just plug it in and let people in, you know. There's a lot going on that we don't all understand, right?
Well, so here's a perfect example of how crossplay could have been extremely beneficial. Let's say Lawbreakers, if it finally comes to Xbox. Like, you know, where that game is struggling to find an audience, maybe it finds a bigger audience on Xbox, and then people start to play it on PlayStation eventually because now all of a sudden there are more people.
Now the pool's bigger.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, for games that are struggling to find an audience, it's a no-brainer, and I think it's a no-brainer for, like, developers, period, because they will sell more copies of games because more people now have access to, you know, to play in their game on whatever console they own, you know, with any of their friends or with randoms, right? So,
yeah, it's just a good thing for the industry, no matter what excuses I give for or against it. Come grab me, I'm almost dead. It's something we need. We made it.
Yeah, and I mean, it may come eventually. I mean, people say, well, Microsoft didn't approve of it last generation, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I don't know, like,
that's
obviously...
different team, different
time.
Yeah,
different people, different team, different heads of the studios. I mean, and the gaming has changed a lot, too, even since last generation. Like, multiplayer's come a long ways, you know what I mean? What's going on, Drain? Thanks for stopping by. We got B Harris 291. Thanks for dropping in, buddy. He says options are always good. Yes.
Hey,
B Harris, you couldn't have said it any better.
What's up, B Harris?
Saying that yes, options are always good, man. That's why it's great to own multiple consoles, and it's great to have everything at your disposal. So we're just getting our ass kicked here, guys. So stop laughing in the background. Trying to concentrate on a serious topic here. Ooh. Alrighty. What's hosting? Hosting, if you're on a PC, I think right now, you can click a host button. You can basically bring over this stream to your channel, that sort of thing, which, you know, say if you got a lot more viewers than I do, or you got a lot of followers, you know, it's kind of like helping each other out. It's quite interesting. Some people do it, some people don't. If you host me, great. If you don't, that's up to you. I don't ask anybody. I do appreciate all you guys being here, though, man. This is fantastic that we got so many people tuning in and checking out the stream. And the games that we pick, I just want to make it clear, the games that I pick for streaming during this, because I'm not just playing a game, I'm trying to basically do a podcast at the same time, which is kind of difficult. to concentrate. So what I do is I just try to pick a game that has like co-op, and it's something that you don't have to take too seriously. Like this is the kind of game you can kind of fart around with, or you can. Oh, you just died. Shit, I never got to you in time. And I'm dead too. Fight for your life. I gotta kill somebody. Where are they?
There's a couple spots in this campaign that are tough.
Oh, somebody shooting me from the balcony up here. Where are they? I'm gonna die. Heck, I'll kill up. Yeah, I think you can host on your phone. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Crossplay is what it is. It may come, it may not. I mean, obviously, this crossplay. The funny one is getting crossplay between Nintendo. Like, I never thought I'd see that. That's kind of weird, but good on Nintendo, man. Good on Nintendo. All Nintendo needs to do now is, well, they don't have very much to crossplay because their online sucks. But once Nintendo comes around, hopefully that improves. Let's move on to the next topic here. Colt, Sea of Thieves. It is almost out, just over a week away. Did you have a chance to try out that beta? And do you think this game is going to be the real deal, or is it going to sink like the box office numbers of the last two Pirates of the Caribbean movies? What do you think on that, sir?
Gosh, you know what? Sea of Thieves is a unique game. I think a lot of people are in agreement that it's going to get like a 70-something on Metacritic.
Right.
I think it's just one of those games that people are just going to play over and over, and it's just going to have its little following. Like, Minecraft isn't the coolest game in the world. It's just the most popular, right? But maybe a bunch of people are going to be on Sea of Thieves like crazy, and there isn't a big narrative, you know, story-driven thing that you'll remember the rest of your life. But I think the experiences you'll have with your friends on that game are going to be truly unique, because you really do kind of do your own thing. Like, remember that interview the other day? They said, can you do this and this and this in the game? And the guy's like, well, the game is there for you to do that, so if you want to, you can just make that happen, right? I'm really overly paraphrasing, but that's it's kind of cool the way game's organic.
Says it's going to be a great streaming game, and I think the reason I do agree with him on that is because the game does play out differently. You know, like if you're watching somebody streaming Call of Duty, right? It's a multiplayer. Like, you can basically know what's going to happen, right? They're playing deathmatch. They're playing an objective-based game. You're going to run around the corner. You're going to shoot. You're going to throw. Like, there's only so many things that can happen in a Call of Duty game or a basically standard multiplayer game. But Sea of Thieves, really, anything can happen, and it's kind of up to your imagination. I think you're right. You're going to go play some VR, Jago? No problem, buddy. Well, thanks for stopping by and checking out the stream. We appreciate it, my friend. Go have fun on that VR. Hoppy says, or Hoopy, Sea of Thieves is automatically great because it has FOV setting on console. FOV, what the hell is that?
Oh, field of view.
Oh, field of view.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. That's very rare on a console game to let you change field of view. That's when you'll see somebody playing a PC game and it almost looks like a fisheye lens. Right. Like, a lot of PC gamers overdo it. They pull that camera back so far so they have really good unnatural peripheral vision. But it's at the, it gives you an advantage.
This is getting good.
Right.
So you can see all the way around you without moving your camera as much. But it makes the game look really weird looking.
You said fisheye. Osmark's like, rare pun.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he says rare.
Rare
pun.
This could
I said rare and fisheye.
Awesome.
Yes.
All I need to do is say all that in a pirate voice.
Arr, hope you like the stream, matey. Arr. I got to get support because I got the shit stains on me whiteies. Arr. Armor Reaper wants to know what the X enhancement will be. You know, that's one of those games where, yes, it'll be, you'll still see the X enhancement, but again, because of the kind of graphics I think it uses, I don't know if it'll stand out maybe as the X enhancements do on a game, say like Assassin's Creed or, do you know what I'm saying, Colt? Like, I think the stylized games are harder because they're generally brighter in contrast anyway, like the colors pop, and then you got that, you know, those sharp edges, and of course it's a lower polygon count on the character because they're stylized, right? So, like, I don't know, like, it'll still look better, but
what you're going to get is probably a native 4K 30 presentation.
Yeah.
The game already looks fantastic at 1080 30, which is what Xbox players were playing in the beta all the way through. Yeah, I mean, the water just looks fantastic. But the game's also Play Anywhere, so if you have a PC, Windows 10 PC, that can run a game, you can run that at 1080 60 or 720 60. You know, you have that option, and you don't have to pay extra.
Water.
It's
unlocked on PC.
No, it's not.
Free jack. Yeah, it could be unlocked on PC. I mean, that's, you know, obviously the great thing about having a powerful PC, but again, that's a very rare number of people are going to have a PC that has the capabilities to run unlocked. You know, there's less people.
We gotta go up here real quick.
There's less people, I'm sure, with a PC that has the capability to run it unlocked than there probably are Xbox One X owners right now. Like, what would you say? Well, no, probably not, because we're looking at worldwide over, and PCs are quite popular. So no, that's
there aren't that many Xbox One X's out on the planet.
Right,
you know?
right.
But
it's true.
But you know, I don't know how many people are going to be playing that game that have super powerful PCs. You know, a lot of
Free Jack says HDR on PC for that one? There is HDR on the Xbox, but not on the PC.
There wasn't on the beta, I don't think. My friend Underachiever was playing the beta on PC while I was playing on Xbox. It's like, it's totally seamless. Why is that not hitting him? Alright, you have to die. Burn him, burn him, burn him, burn him, burn him. There we go. Newf, you're not even in the same room with me.
Nah, man, I'm still down below getting swamped by a bunch of shit wiggles. No HDR for Witcher 3 on PC either. No, it kind of sucks. I mean, HDR is a big deal in my opinion. I mean, it fucking makes games really pop.
Yeah. That's what's the cool thing about the console. All that stuff is packaged in and ready for a television, and it doesn't really work that way as effortlessly on PC. Not a lot of HDR support. So I'm gonna grab this gun chest over here real quick.
So bottom line is, though, Colt, you think Sea of Thieves does it? You know, you're thinking that it will be at least a modest hit that, you know, should do pretty well for Microsoft. And of course, being part of Game Pass, I mean, how can people now sort of not take a chance? And I think that was Microsoft's logic, to be honest. It's like, they're like, we don't really know where this market is going to be for this game. Like, we'd like to think it's going to be a hit, but you really don't know. Because, I mean, I'm sure Microsoft thought Quantum Break was going to blow the doors off of things, too. And it didn't set the world on fire.
Yeah, I mean,
so, like, nobody knows anymore.
It looked hotter
it's going to be a hit. Like Dead Rising 4, I mean, came out was a solid game, and still that was kind of struggling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the games Microsoft's invested money on haven't exactly, like, set the world, especially like Sunset Overdrive, made by a phenomenal developer. Was a well-made game, actually. Looked amazing.
Yes.
And really good. One of the most unique experiences we've had this console
generation. It rated well.
Rated well, so everything was going for it, and yet still it's like it struggled. I mean, the fact that they even gave it away free on Games of Gold, probably not even a year after it came out, it kind of tells you all you need to know that this game definitely struggled to find an audience. I don't even know if a lot of people realize there was a multiplayer aspect in it.
I think that game would have done so much better on the PS4. Because I don't think Xbox gamers were tuned into something like that.
Yeah.
Because even when I bought it, I knew it looked really, really cool, and I bought it day one. I was a little unsure because I don't normally play games like that are kind of quirky. I don't know what the word is, but you know, kind of has that funny cheeseball thing going on. It's over the top, you know.
Yeah.
Skills
so there you go. Like I said, I mean, I think it will be a hit. And I think the thing is, the game really lends itself to a lot of content, and I think that's Rare's plan, is to keep replenishing that game with constant content, like new challenges and maybe new monsters. As I was saying to somebody, like, I mean, if you just imagine he struck a deal with Disney to do like Pirates of the Caribbean, like, you know, DLC, you know, where you could bring in Captain Jack Sparrow or famous pirates from like lore, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's a possibility they take that game to a variety of different levels. You know, it could be a lot of I even think they should get rowboats in there eventually. Like, so like if your ship sinks, you could jump out into, like, say, a rowboat with oars on it instead of just fucking respawning, like, little things like that, you know, row to shore, or instead of always having to stop your boat, like, just throw the boat over and row in. Like, that would be cool. You know, there's different things that they can do, and I'm sure it can come. You know, it's not rocket science, so yeah. But let's move on to the next question. How about Inside Xbox? It finally came out. People were kind of expecting something that it wasn't, or I don't really know what the expectation. What was your expectation of Inside Xbox, and what do you think about sort of the reaction it's received since this weekend? A lot of people seem to be a little bit niffed about it. So what do you think?
Well, I had kind of the wrong impression, but once I saw what it was, I accepted it instead of whining all day. It's not a mini E3. It was a chance to showcase what and where the games are coming from, and it was made to promote the next upcoming game. And we can assume, and I'm going to predict that next month's Inside Xbox will be mostly about State of Decay 2, because it'll be coming the next month. And they showed some cool stuff in there, but I mean, talking about Sea of Thieves for 45 minutes or whatever it was, that show was like 2 hours long.
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't help that.
Yeah, I mean, they talked about Sea of Thieves for a long time. It's just.
And it doesn't help that Sea of Thieves has had so many betas. Like I think this is the most betas I can ever recall on a fucking console prior to a game release. And that, you know, like, while it was great, and I get why they're doing it, you know, like for some people, it's just kind of like, I've even heard people recently, they didn't play the latest betas because they were already tired of playing it. They're like, you know, I can't save my progress and stuff like that. So I think that doesn't help.
Yeah,
you know, like you get a little fatigued before the game comes out because you've already seen it. You know, you're taking a lot of the wonder out. So, like, I hope there's a lot more to the game than what we've seen, and I think there is, because otherwise, you know, a lot of people are going to get bored, right?
We saw quite a bit of additions in the final beta that weren't there in the last one, and I don't know, just like when people would say, "Hey, let's play Sea of Thieves," you know, over the weekend, I was like, I couldn't say no, because every time I play, we have fun.
Yeah, B. Harris and Hoopy said too long. The show was too long, and that's agreed. Like, when you're talking about one game for the majority of it, and it's 2 hours, like, that's too long. That would be like me and Colt doing this stream right now, talking for 2 straight hours about Sea of Thieves. You know, people would be like, dude,
we almost did.
We almost did. You know, so there you go, right?
Here, I'm gonna unlock these cells here. But let me just end the Sea of Thieves talk with, to answer the question you asked me about if I think it'll be a hit. I know for sure that Sea of Thieves won't be a failure. It will do well.
Yeah.
That's
the
my
thing
prediction.
is, and like I said, the crazy part is, and you guys, we all have to get used to it, is that Microsoft's not going to release numbers on the game now, and they're going to be skewed because, I mean, while they're going to still sell physical copies and get digital downloads, like, we also got to remember the majority of people going to play these games now are probably going to come on Game Pass, at least I think so. So now we're going to be looking at user numbers instead of, like, the game sold now. So if you're looking at MPD numbers for a game on Xbox, like, especially their first party, like, that number now is, they're going to be really low, or they're not going to be there at all, because you're going to be like, well, did the game not even sell? And it's like, well, yeah, the game is sold, but it's sold through Game Pass. So I think Microsoft's accepting of that fact, and they don't really care so much about the numbers anymore. So I don't know, but that's what we gotta deal with, and it's not a big deal as long as the game is successful and people are playing it. That's the main thing. That's the only number that ultimately matters, because that's how you make money, is by having people play the game. If people give up on it after a week, you don't make fucking no money. And that's the problem with single player games, right, Colt? Like, single player games are great. Like, let's take Hellblade, right? I mean, I love the game. It's an amazing game. But I played it, I beat it, you know what, I haven't touched it since. And, like, I might go back and play it again, but realistically, how many more hours am I going to put into that game? That game is done and gone. It's in my memory and out the door, right? So, and there's a lot of games on PlayStation that are like that, right?
Vault Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games on
hell of a job fighting
all the consoles that are like that, you know.
That's true.
So, you know, some single players games have a lot of replayability. Even if you ignore the multiplayer, you know, you can play the single player game. I don't know if I've not really heard anybody talk about doing multiple playthroughs of Horizon Zero Dawn, or but you know, that's just a single player game. But I've heard people say, like, God of War, they've played it several times over. So it just depends on the person.
B. Harris just made me think of maybe a really cool idea for Sea of Thieves, okay? They could literally do like, say, a 50 ship, not necessarily a battle royal, but like a 50 ship deathmatch where you're confined within a certain circle, and you're given like unlimited cannonballs, and it's like whoever can sink whoever first. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, like a sudden death type thing.
Yeah, is everybody just like sailing around, shooting cannonballs left, right, and center? Everybody's shooting at everybody, and then whoever's the last boat standing.
Last ship
wins.
standing.
Wouldn't that be fucking
That's
cool?
cool.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
And even better, what would be even better is that on your ship they put like a bunch of you start with a bunch of treasures. So like the incentive not to sink would be extremely high because you don't want to lose all the treasures they've given you. You know what I mean? And the more you win, the more treasures you get on board your ship. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Then you'd be just like, damn man, we can't sink because we're gonna lose all this shit. Yeah, something like that could be kind of cool too, because it'd be pretty chaotic with the waves and stuff, and like fucking every ship just firing cannonballs left, right, and center. That would be pandemonium.
You know, another new thing about the last beta is I didn't notice the waves were just making the ship rock like crazy, and we were getting wave damage too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a lot of little stuff that's going to stack up that we probably didn't see in the beta, but
if
you know,
stormy,
whatever,
we'll try it
out for 10
even when it's stormy, the water can still fill your boat. The water comes in over the sides, there's water in the bottom and shit, and if you got one hole, it fills up way faster. It's crazy. Oh, you got a loader bot out here. Cool. Alright, so let's move on to the next topic, Colt. Guys, hope you're still having a good time watching the stream. Appreciate you hanging out. I know some of you guys are from the UK, so it's quite late. We're going to move into the next one, and this one shouldn't take us too long, but just I just want to get your thoughts on the remasters, right? Too many and overpriced or justified. Like, what do you think of it all, Colt? Do you think it's a good thing, bad? We're starting to see a lot of them, and like, to me personally, like I'm cool with a game like Shadow of the Colossus, right? Because the thing about Shadow of the Colossus, it was an older title. I mean, it was almost 10 years old. Maybe not quite that old, but it was getting up to, right? It's a game, obviously, that originated in the PS2 era, and and it was remade, right, from the ground up, so it looked better and potentially played a little bit better. It's like, for me, I like that idea because I feel there's extra value for new players and old players alike. So what do you think about it? Because with Xbox, we're getting the backwards compatible stuff, and they're adding the like the recent additions are magnificent because they've even added like 4K upgrades to games like Forza Horizon. So just give me your take. What do you think of remasters in general, and are they overpriced? What's your take?
Well, they have loaded this generation up with remasters and ports, but like you just finished your sentence with these enhanced backward compatibility games. That is a totally different beast. Like, I already own Crackdown 1. They gave it to us on Games with Gold like 4 years ago. They enhanced it up 9 times resolution to 4K and just said, here it is. And I didn't have to pay for it. And heck yeah, I'm going to be excited about that. Like, people like Xbox gamers are excited about old games. Like, I already own those games and I want to play them. And if I don't have to pay extra, that's awesome.
Yeah, imagine like a game like Red Dead Redemption right now getting an upgrade. Wouldn't that be cool? Like the original game, right?
Well, when Red Dead went backward compatible, it went 12,000% increase in used sales.
Yeah.
You know, and resales on Amazon and GameStop and stuff. I mean, it's a huge ordeal. And I already own that game, so I didn't have to buy it. I just played it as soon as it was live. But right now, we're playing an excellent remaster. Like, there aren't enough of them like this. Like, here's Borderlands 2. They give you all the DLC and both games for $60.
Yeah.
And like Halo Master Chief Collection is another great value. 4 games with every multiplayer mode and every map for $60.
On top of the fact that they remade Halo 3. Was it Halo 3 or Halo 2 that they went and redid the graphics for? Halo 2, wasn't it?
Halo 2, that got like a full remaster. But there's been too many of these games where they just take the game and they up-res it and they basically set the port so it's playable on PS4. But you know, they just code it and that's it.
Well, one of the worst perpetrators is God of War 3. because all they did with that game was they just gave you the regular edition and they just upped it to 1080p. There was really nothing more than that, you know what I mean? So, like, there's been a lot, like, even and Uncharted, like, okay, they gave you the 3 Uncharted games, great, but why didn't, first of all, why didn't they not include, I mean, it was good value, but why didn't they include the Uncharted game from the PlayStation Vita? And second of all, why didn't they include the multiplayers from those Uncharted? That's another weird thing.
Oh, was there no multiplayer function in the Nathan Drake collection at all?
None whatsoever.
That's weird. That's something they should have patched in later. But those 3 games for the price of 1 is a good value. There's been too many just basically ported games.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. They did put the 3 games on 1 and charge you less money for it. And for anybody that maybe missed the original Nathan Drake games on the PS3, like, I mean, bottom line too, like, a lot of we also forget that there's a lot of new adopters to Xbox One and PS4, not just like all of us hardcore guys that owned the games at one point in time. There's a lot of new people. So, like, if they can get the game that looks and runs better, because no matter what, I mean, God of War 3 on PlayStation 4, Uncharted Collection on PlayStation 4, The Last of Us on PlayStation 4, those remasters, I mean, they are cleaned up. They are the best versions of the game. So it's not like, you know, in most cases they are cheaper, like they're, you know, $30, $40, usually not like a full $70 game, you know what I mean? But when I look at the way I want my games done, okay, and this is my perfect example, I always look to Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Now that to me was that is the pinnacle of redoing a game, because they remade all the assets from the ground up, changed all the graphics, included content that was never in the console version, improved the multiplayer, get better server support. Like, Gears of War Ultimate Edition is the Gears of War game that just runs and looks absolutely dynamite. You know what I mean? If you're a Gears fan, you gotta have that game in your collection, because it's just, oh man, you know what I mean? You go back and play the original. And it's on Game Pass. If you're a Gears fan, you have to have the Ultimate Edition in your collection. Great co-op, all done from the ground up. And the fact that, you know, the Coalition, that was their first attempt at a Gears game, they tested their technology out with that game first, and then they moved on to Gears 4 and still got that game out the door, like, what, 2 years? Even after releasing the Ultimate Edition. I'm like, man, these guys are the bomb. That's what I call it. And Master Chief as well. I mean, all the content, every friggin' map, pretty much, except for, you know, the fiasco that was the launch of Master Chief Collection. That's a different story. But I mean, you can't blame them for trying. That had to be fucking hard for a coder, man. Like four different Halo games with different server type styles, different game modes. Like, that must have been a nightmare, really, if you think about it.
They also made all the control schemes evolve along the way.
Yeah.
Different Halos, and they made like a universal control scheme where you could set universal, or they were separate, so that each control scheme was set to its default when you bought the game. Like, there's a lot going on there, and they all look great. They run 60 frames. It's cool because you got to remember, like, a big chunk of gamers that came to the Xbox One and PS4 were probably like 12 years old, and now they're, you know, 16, and they're like hardcore gamers now. You know, like this is the console that they really like got into gaming for, was the PS4, the Xbox One.
And the way I look at it for some people too, like I'm like, essentially too, with games taking longer and longer, and I think this is the reason we're seeing most of those games too, is because games now development is taking so long and it's so costly that a lot of the studios, that's how they sort of pad their quarterlies, by easily turning around a remake of a game. They don't have to rewrite it. They just have to develop some code and brighten it up. You know what I mean? Like, so it's an easy turn. It's easy money for a lot of those developers, essentially. And like I said, it's good for gamers who never got into the series at all, or it's good for the hardcore fans who just want to have the very best version of the games that they know and love. So I'm not really against it, because you don't have to buy them at the end of the day. And second of all, even if you don't. And if you're complaining about the price, what I've constantly found is wait like 6 months, and most of those remastered games, they're like on the fucking bargain bin shelves anyway. Like, you can go into the store right now and get,
how many,
what?
How many games have we said, what, they're remastering that? Why aren't they working on the next sequel we've been waiting for?
Well,
that's happened way too much.
But most of the thing, that's the thing, a lot of people realize they are, because
like
a lot of times the primary studio, though, is not the ones working on the game, right?
Like
it's
this one.
Like Blue Point. Iron Galaxy. Blue Point did the Uncharted stuff. Blue Point did the did Shadow of the Colossus. So like, it's not a lot of the times it's not the main developer that's doing the remakes, right?
Yeah, you know, 2 studios did. One did Borderlands 2, and the other one did the pre-sequel. I think Iron Galaxy did this one, and a different studio did the pre-sequel remaster here. Ouch, man, that almost killed me.
I mean, and if it's just a resolution bump in the game, like very similar to God of War Remastered, like that probably took like next to no time for them to put that one back out on a disc compared to, say, a game that is using all new graphical assets and stuff like that from the ground up.
Well,
so
I don't know what their workflow is to get a PS3 game and cell architecture to run on PS4. It might be a little more time.
So remake or remaster? Which one would you
idea.
prefer? If you had to pick one or the other, remakes or remasters, I think I know the answer, but give it to me.
Remaster.
Remasters than a remake?
But I'm sorry, a remake.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would just like to have an enhancement for. I would rather have an enhancement, a real Xbox enhancement for Red Dead, than to pay for a remake.
Right.
Does that make sense? Because
Right.
I already know it would look great, and I already paid for this game. I've already bought it twice.
Right.
I have a signed copy of Red Dead from the guy that plays John Marston. That's how nerdy I am.
I will owe you.
No, I'm
We're
down.
both down. Shit.
We're gonna have to respawn and kill this guy, unless I can get one of these surveyors here. It might. Oh, I'm up.
Yeah, I'm more for remakes, but again, it just depends on how, you know, like some remakes, there's new assets and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, they're padding for the industry, no more, no less. You know, I don't think there's anything to really complain about. Again, as somebody said earlier in the chat, options are good. You don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
You don't want.
That's true.
You don't want to buy it for full price. You don't have to. You can wait till it goes on sale. Like, nobody's forcing your hand, right? I mean, look, like Siberia said in the chat. Look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare, man. You look how good that game looked compared to. I mean, the original game was good looking, but damn, the fucking remaster was like, holy shit, you know.
Yeah.
It looked like a new engine game, right? Running at a smoother frame rate, better graphics, textures, etc., etc. Like, I mean, that's the reason. That's the biggest reason that Infinite Warfare even sold at all, is because of that game. Most people bought the big expensive copy. I know I did. That's the only reason I bought it. But, all right, so let's move on to the next topic here. Colt, speaking of Call of Duty, great segue. Black Ops 4 just moved up to October. Do you think this is the right move for the game? And why do you ultimately think that they decided to move up? Because every Call of Duty game so far has been November. This is kind of weird.
I don't know. They don't need to do anything different to change their sales. They're their top seller every year.
Right.
Even if the game was about making all your characters have Barbie hair, if that was like, they still sell great.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't know why they moved it to October.
That's what Hoopy just said. COD will sell regardless of when it comes out. And you're exactly right.
Unless Activision has a different game, but they don't need to move out of the way for Call of Duty. You know, Call of Duty makes way for themselves. And I'm not interested in Black Ops. I mean, I'm mostly enjoying the Call of Duty World War II campaign.
Gotcha.
I didn't think I would, but I don't know.
I thought it was a dynamite game, to be honest with you. I mean, the multiplayer is still hit and miss, but even that I don't mind. I find it's nice that they went back to the smaller maps. They're not, you know, it's nice to actually get killed by people that shoot in a straight line for a change, instead of guys that are invisible and jumping off fucking ceilings with jetpacks and fucking sticky-ass grenades and drones.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That just became a big joke. It really did. But I wasn't really thinking about bothering with the campaign until I saw your review on your YouTube channel. And I watched that, and I'm like, and you made some really good points. I'm like, yeah, I think Newf's got it right. I probably will like this game, and I have. It's a lot longer than I thought. I mean, I feel like I put like 12 hours into the campaign so far.
Not to mention
is
the
it that long? Or?
Yeah, and not to mention the acting was pretty damn solid. I mean, you got what's his name in there from the Transformers movie, Josh Duhamel.
Yeah.
There was 3 or 4 other actors.
Did a pretty good job.
Yeah, there's a couple other actors in there I recognize as well that I'm just not so good on their names. Somebody. Thurston Thomas the third or something like that, and the black-haired guy. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys.
I can't remember what he's from. was like, was he on the Newsies way back in the day? So I was like, I don't know. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, he just looks familiar.
Yeah, so you know, whatever the reason for it, I mean, maybe they just felt that November next year might be a little more crowded. Maybe they just wanted to get a bit of a head start before Red Dead Redemption sort of stole the thunder. You know, because a week can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
A week of sales for a company can be like an extra $1 million. You know, and to get it out the door, they create the buzz, and maybe it's like a distraction. Because you look at the average 13-year-old. Let's just say like the 13 and 14-year-olds who seem to dominate Call of Duty nowadays. Like, you have to ask yourself, which game are they still more prone to buying? Are they going to go for the Call of Duty, or are they going to go for Red Dead? Because I think you and I will go for Red Dead first, but I got a funny feeling the kids, they're going to just be all over Call of Duty. And so, like, if Call of Duty gets out the door before Red Dead has a chance to sort of encroach on that territory, then I think that's just a bigger boost for Call of Duty.
If I was a publisher, I would use a 2-week buffer in between big games, because there are a lot of hardcore no-lifers that will get through almost every game in a week to 2 weeks, and they're ready to buy a new game. So if you can give yourself a 2-week buffer between some popular games, you're probably okay, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, Black Ops 4 is going to be huge, because the Black Ops series has been one of the biggest selling series for the Call of Duty franchise. I have no doubt it's going to be another huge game. Question is, what kind of...
Yeah, they're a great studio.
Treyarch, and then what, you know, the big question is, what sort of era are they going with in terms of... Because I've heard some people say it's going to be like the last one, like, futuristic, and I'm hearing some people say it might be closer to the 80s Black Ops games, you know, where it's based around. I don't know, so it really depends on what they go with, but either which way it's going to sell.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next topic. Nintendo Direct, they had a lot of big news, of course, unveiling the Smash Bros. I can't remember if I've asked you before, but well, you said you grew up on Nintendo. So what's your take on, you know, the latest Switch developments and getting more third-party support with Bayonetta recently, and now Little Nightmares, and they've got what's the other game coming out there? Another big one. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. And they name
they're getting that?
Yeah, they're getting The Fractured Butthole.
You know, that really surprised me, because I always thought, you know, if the Switch could get every game that Xbox and PS4 get as far as multi-plats, you know, like Far Cry 5, if that was like, of course that's coming to Switch. I mean, Switch gets everything, right?
Yeah.
Every multi-plat. If the Switch got every multi-plat, and that's just how it was, then, I mean, it would just dominate the market. It would be, you could do almost everything. It has Mario and Zelda, plus you wouldn't miss out on the other multi-plat games you want to play. But then again, the Switch is already selling awesome without every single third-party support.
I gotta ask
but that third-party support is coming.
B. Harris says, I don't know, I pre-ordered it and they refunded me the money. Which game did you pre-order and they refunded your money? Because it is confirmed that South Park is coming, so I hope it's not the game, because, I mean, it was on Nintendo's actual friggin' show that it's coming, so it's not like this is a rumor, this is a fact, and it's Ubisoft, right? They support everybody, so... The Crew 2. I don't know anything about the Crew 2. I didn't even play the first one, actually. I think I tried a beta or something, the first Crew game, and I didn't really like it that much. So, and plus it required a persistent online, and I was like, fuck that shit. So.
Oh, everything has a persistent online. The Crew actually isn't too bad. It's not the best thing ever, but it's not the worst either.
Yeah, I didn't think it looked that good either. Like, I was playing on the regular Xbox.
The cars just handle awful. The cars just feel way too light, but it's kind of got some cool stuff going on. But then again, I got it for like $2 on Steam,
right? On
PC. So I played it with a buddy for like a month, and we had some good times.
Nice.
But I'm not going to go buy the Crew 2, even though I had fun with the first one.
Well, it looks like the Crew 2 is going to be even bigger than the first one. Like, it looks like it's an even bigger map world, which is kind of crazy, because I heard the first was huge. So, but anyway, Nintendo, back to what do you think of that? I mean, Super Smash Bros. Obviously was a teaser, and you know, and I think that's why Xbox people are set. Just kind of going back to the inside thing, inside Xbox, is that, you know, Nintendo does these directs and they actually show like new glimpses of products and stuff. They don't have to either. They could have saved it all for around the E3 time, but they didn't. And I think that's why Xbox fans are a little bit more like, oh, Jesus, Xbox, like, what are you doing, right? Because we expected a little tease of something at this point, and we never got it. Even though we kind of know that's not what the show's for, they still could have done something, per se. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, what do you think about Nintendo, man? Are you surprised with that, and are you excited at all for the Switch and what Nintendo's doing?
I'm just not a Nintendo guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down. We're not gonna pass this. I've never played Smash Brothers. I've watched people play it at a friend's house, and yeah, I just missed that whole Nintendo era and never kind of like stuck with it during all those times. But yeah, people are excited for that.
Well, it's a huge game.
Some huge hits too.
It's not it's not really my kind of game per se. Like, I've played them before, and I've seen them. You know, I mean, yeah, it's exciting. Sure, it's another big title, and it kind of came in. I mean, people knew Smash Bros. Would come out for Nintendo. I just don't think anybody realized it would be in 2018. So, which also got me wondering: is it a new game? Is it just the Wii U version, fucking souped up with extra features? Good question, but nobody knows for sure. I don't think. What is going on? X slots on Suicide Watch according to Dealer, who's up in the chat.
Oh my god!
Leave it a Dealer, right?
Funniest thing ever.
X slots on Suicide,
oh
yeah. I'm telling you, I got the blade to my hand right now, bro.
Oh my gosh! You know, people are flipping out lately. Dealer made a really good little post today and said, you know, 2018's already looking better than 17. Just wait. Things are gonna be fun. We've got plenty of games to play regardless. People are gonna freak out just a little too much, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Like me about to freak out because there's no way we're gonna pass through this level.
Well, I'm down right now. Man, how are you doing tonight? Spider-Man, thanks for kicking around, hanging out with us. Armored Reaper, Siberia, Armored Reaper, like pulling an all-nighter here. It's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning where he's at. You know, like I said, I'm happy for Nintendo, but you know, I still, you know, I was more impressed with the third-party stuff. Like, to me, like, it was more impressive to see that Little Nightmares is coming, and you know, Fractured Butthole, and they're not new games to us as Xbox and PlayStation users, but just to see more mature content and just third-party in general. Like, hopefully it keeps up. Hopefully some of those games get supported, and I think they will. I think some of those games may find new life on that platform because you can take it anywhere. So I don't know. I think it's good, but we'll see what happens. I mean,
I have to commit suicide here because I have no ammo.
Yeah, I went.
I've never seen this happen before. There's no ammo vendor right here, and
so let's move on to another one that's been hotly debated lately. State of Decay 2. Your impressions of the video footage you've seen, and what do you think about this whole price? I mean, some people making a big ass deal of it, and I think it's like craziness. So what's your take on that?
Why are people so dumb?
Why are people so dumb?
Seriously, the original was $20. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, that means the game will get adopted by more people, not just through Game Pass, but people that are walking into a store going to see this new game on the shelf, and it's a zombie game at that, which generally sell pretty good. And they're like, man, and it's got 4-player co-op. It's like $30. That's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I think they're going with that, right?
Yeah.
When you're trying to get market share for a game, after what we talked about earlier about even Microsoft's flagship games not getting traction, I mean, $30. As I said tonight to someone in the chat, Colt, and this makes perfect sense. Let's think about Record. Now, people say Record didn't sell that great, right? So, imagine how bad Record would have sold if it was a $70 game. Just think about that.
Yeah, what was it, a $40 game?
It was like a $40 game when it came out. So people are saying, well, it sold bad at $40. Well, then, how bad would Record have been if they just sold it at full price and advertised it like a full AAA, right? So, you know, that's where they're going to State of Decay.
It's a word that means talk down to. You got that, kitten?
Oh, still got more assholes over here. So yeah, so just talk about that first on the price fiasco. I mean, and is it Xbox people that are mostly complaining, or is it just like the PlayStation guys, the fanboys trying to make fun of us, basically saying the game's going to be shit because it's 30?
There's a nice even keel of Xbox people freaking out, pretending like they don't have enough games to play. I mean, I guess if you've played all of these great games already and you've run out of stuff to do, that sucks. I've got a couple games I still need to finish. But yeah, the PlayStation guys, the problem, the disparity is the mature games that are missing.
Hoopy sums it up real well. Gaming is the only hobby where cheaper is worse. And then somebody's like, very true. It's like, yes. Yeah. Can somebody please explain the logic? I don't get it. I mean, yes, I know that some games, when you do pay $20 for a game, you're like, yeah, that's all that game was worth. But that generally more applies to games coming from smaller indie developers who are still building their core, their reputation. It's usually not coming from an established, company, regardless. And Undead Labs has got, a couple years of experience now building the first game. And the first game, while it was flawed, it was a good game. It had a lot of the right principles there, you know what I mean? Like, it set the groundwork for a much better game. When I watch the video, I see that the graphics are better. The play control looks like it's tightened up. They've added a bigger map area. They've added 4-player co-op. I mean, when you take a game that's like $10 more expensive than the old game and they've improved in almost every department, how is that a bad thing? I can't figure it. Plus, you can play it for $10 a month on Game Pass if you're still... So even if the game was $80, the bottom line is the fans could have still played it for $10 on Game Pass.
Right.
Yeah. Like, figure out the logic.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I'm not going to complain about it. I mean, I'm planning to get the game. At least I think I will. I mean, I like the first one enough. And the fact it's got co-op. The co-op sold me alone. When I heard it was co-op, I was like, damn, I want to play this with my 3 of my buddies, man. I wouldn't be playing Sea of Thieves if it wasn't for co-op. If they told me Sea of Thieves was a single-player game, I wouldn't be buying it next week.
Well, what was the last big, like, as people say, mature, story-driven game that Xbox has had?
Hang on, I'm going to go down the turret here.
Good idea.
Sitting in
That's part of the problem. Like,
which was the what?
What was the last mature game that Microsoft has put out? What was the last exclusive? Was it Gears 4 in 2016? Yeah, Quantum Break and Gears 4 in 2016, right?
Yeah.
In 2017, the mature game was Forza 7, which is kind of different as far as that's concerned. And there isn't anything on the horizon. That's why people are flipping out.
I made a point to crap and
themselves to PlayStation.
Yeah, and I made a point to crap and mooch the other night, and a lot of people don't think of it. If State of Decay, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3 had all basically hit their actual targets, those games wouldn't be coming out within a 6-month span of each other right now. That's what it seems like, because we have these 3 good games, 3 very stylized and different games, right? And they're all coming out with sort of within a certain window. So just think about that. If those games had been spread out, this wouldn't be the scenario that it is. It's just that it's unfortunate that we have 3 stylized games all coming out within 6 months of each other now because they were all delayed, where that shouldn't have happened, right? So it's just one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't, worst case scenario kind of things. But I just think people are overplaying it. Bottom line, it's just overplayed. State of Decay is going to be a damn good game. Apparently Ron McCaffrey's really impressed with the 2 at IGN, and he loved the first game. He thinks this game is even way better. So
yeah, he gave it a really good review too.
So yeah, we'll just have to wait to see how it goes, you know what I mean? And hopefully Xbox locks down the new Tomb Raider game again. I'm hoping for good things when that game comes out. Rise of the Tomb Raider was certainly one of the last illicit games, but that was a multi-plat.
That's the thing that has been driving me crazy lately, like PlayStation gamers, like, we've got banger after banger on the PS4, and I'm like, when? The last big game you had was the expansion to Uncharted 4 and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
And we had exclusives then too. I'm not saying they didn't have the games, but Xbox and PS4 gamers have both had nothing new exclusive to play lately. And the real point is, like, I want some big AAA game to show me what my Xbox One X can do. I'm like, did you not just finish Wolfenstein New Colossus? Did you play Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed Origins?
Right.
Why does it have to be an exclusive? Like, those games are huge, high-rated games. And, like, Nier Automata was exclusive for PS4, but it didn't get, like, a perfect score. It's a great game, I'm sure. A lot of people really liked it. Hellblade was a really high-rated game, but hardly anybody bought it. I'm like, why are people buying this game?
Yeah.
It won awards and stuff like that. It's like people are multi-platform gamers, and they pretend like if it's not exclusive, then it's not worth playing in their console.
And that's the thing, right?
Attitude needs to go away.
The first party stuff was almost neck and neck. You've done various comparison videos on this too, Colt, and like there's not much difference in between what Sony's released and Microsoft has released from a first party perspective, right? It's really pretty close. It's just that because Sony constantly keeps getting these Japanese games and stuff that most of us have never heard of, and then they add it to their little list wars. Like, we got all these games, but at the end of the day, I mean, the majority of those games are not lighting the world on fire. Like, you know, there's
they've
a lot
also
of games.
had really good third-party. They've also had really good third-party support on really great games too. Games that have no reason why they're not on Xbox.
Right.
But PlayStation's just dominating the market so well, and I learned the hard way that if you can't stand it that you're not getting the games you want, go buy a $200 other console. You know, go buy an Xbox One S for $200 with an extra controller and a couple of games. You know, you can do that. Or if you why aren't we getting something like God of War? Well, go buy a PlayStation then. You know, it's like that's why I finally bought one.
Exactly. You know, this is the thing I don't get, but it's like I'm not saying all guys, but there's a lot of the PlayStation guys. It's like they refuse to buy an Xbox. They know they want the games because there's fucking petitions out there. We've had petitions to get Cuphead on PlayStation. We've had petitions for like Xbox games. Always getting these petitions to be on the PlayStation, right? You know what I mean? So they want the games. They don't want to admit they want the games, but they do want the games. But they just think because they refuse to get an Xbox. It's like, you know what? It's like, I'd prefer to get Hellblade on my Xbox, but at the same time, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get it on PlayStation. I'm not going to fucking deny myself a great game experience because it's not on the platform of my choice, right?
Yeah.
So I went out and got it, and I don't regret it. I'm even going to buy it again when it comes out for Xbox, you know what I mean? Just because I love the game so much, want to support the dev, and hopefully it comes out on disc because I'd like to get the physical copy.
Oh, yeah.
He always stole my stuff!
Yeah,
it's Armored Reaper in the chat. He's like, he had a PS4 a couple years back. He slowly never touched, and that's fine. You know, bottom line is everybody has to gauge their time commitments to a console. Like, if you find you're playing one console 90% of the time, and the other one is more or less gathering dust, then if it's not for you, it's not for you. Like buying a console just for one game, I don't really think it's worth it. Like to me, if it's got at least a half a dozen games that you just kind of really need in your lineup, go for it. But if it's one title, you got to say, is it really worth it?
I've talked to so many people who say, no matter what you prefer, one of those consoles gathers dust quite a bit during the time you have it.
That would
because
be my Nintendo
you
Switch.
end up having a preference. You know, like you said, like people refuse to buy an Xbox. I get a lot of comments because I use a lot of Forza Horizon 3 footage, and I get a lot of comments like, "What is that racing game at 2 minutes 38 seconds?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's Forza Horizon 3." Like, what? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh! Like one guy said, "Oh, I regret not buying an Xbox." I'm like, "Well, dude, you can get one really cheap and spend like 200 hours playing Forza Horizon 3 and then sell it."
I'll disagree with Hoopsy. Hoopsy in the chat said PS4 is only worth it you like Japanese games, and I'll have to disagree with him there. I think that's a bonus if you like Japanese games, but I mean, I look at Horizon Zero Dawn, which was a phenomenal game, a huge achievement. I mean, that game...
One of your favorites?
And Uncharted 4, I mean, those two games alone for me were worth the price of my PlayStation 4. You know, like, that's for me. They're not for everybody, but I loved them. I mean, I even like the Killzone game that people bitch about. I wouldn't think it was the best Killzone game. Like, it was probably the worst one in the franchise. But, I mean, I still thought it was solid. It's still better than a lot of games, but it was just a little boring in my opinion, you know what I mean? So...
Yeah, PlayStation just has some really good hits. I mean, I did that video about why I bought the PS4, and I culminated those big AAA games, and once all of those kind of piled up, I thought, all right, it's time. My channel's big enough where I could use a little more equalizing. You know, I could have some. I can get that actual experience myself, and instead of just looking at the metrics, but most importantly, there was enough games that warranted me to buy one, you know, and it took this long, and that's just how it is. It did. It actually took me this long. I think it was when Horizon Zero Dawn came out when I'm like, that's my kind of game.
It? Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I didn't actually ever consider buying a PS4 as like pulling out my wallet until Horizon Zero Dawn, and then I watched 2017 was just the one that took us out.
Whoa, do you work out?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I mean, people are crazy. People always say that I'm bashing PlayStation. Like, I used to bash PlayStation. I've rarely done that over the past year, like the entire past 12 months. I've kind of stopped doing that because the PlayStation really, even though the PlayStation's been super popular and successful, like it really came into its own in the middle of 2016, and then all the way to 2017 was just that's how you do a console, you know, with a lot of support.
Well, I think you look. I've watched your videos, like I said, for quite some time now. Like I said, I consider myself one of your biggest fans, and you know, and I think personally, owning multiple consoles, I think you've been very fair. I mean, you know, I mean, sometimes sure we all make mistakes. Sometimes information can be maybe a little bit off, but I mean, I watch your videos. You're always fair.
Sure.
You always give the pros, they give the cons. But people just hate because the moment you sound like anything is against your console choice, it's like you're bitching about it, like you're just finding a reason to complain, and that's not it at all.
I would never put information out knowing that I could trick someone. So if people think I'm lying, it's because I'm genuinely didn't know I was had something wrong, you know. But a couple of, there was like I don't have any motivation to lie.
No, and I'm not saying that you were. It's just saying a couple of times, like very, very rarely, but some of the information was just not quite correct. But like, it's not saying that you were necessarily wrong. Maybe the source that you got it from maybe wasn't necessarily
recently,
right,
or a few months ago, I haven't addressed this because I just kind of learned about it like a month ago. But recently, I don't know if I'm not going to pick you up. Hold on. I got to grab ammo.
I got it.
Let you respawn and we'll kind of take it back. A few months ago, it's like almost a year ago, I did a video about what's better, PS Plus or games with gold.
Right.
You know, what's better service. And I counted the 12 months of games and their ratings and their money value. And then I talked about how PlayStation only gives you 2 PS4 games and the rest are on Vita and PS3 that you can't play on your console. But then I learned, like, just recently, because I don't have a PlayStation, so I don't know how the whole dynamics of it. I learned that often, or sometimes, some of those games are playable on PS4, even though they may be a different, like, they have a version of the game where there's 4 games that are playable on PS4. But not always, but I just thought it was an absolute. I thought 2 PS4, 2 PS3, 2 Vita games. I thought that was the formula, and it was for a while, wasn't it?
What? Sorry, what? It was usually.
Wasn't that the formula? The PS Plus gives you 2 PS4 games, 2 PS3s, and 2 Vita games. And that used to be the formula, but I think they've changed it up, and sometimes they offer 2 PS4 games and 2 PSN games and 2 Vita games.
Right.
Like that, I didn't know that. And so that's very misleading.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like there can be little things like that, but it's nothing ever like blatant. You know what I mean? So like bottom line, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's plenty of good reasons to own either console. But if one game on it that you really want, you play one other system 90% of the time, then I can understand. Like there's only so much time and money to play all the systems. I've always said the worst thing about owning all the systems is it gives you too many options and choices because your wallet can't keep up. You can't find enough time to play them. You can't find enough time to buy them. I mean, the fact that every single one of us right now is saying we got backlogs that are like really long, that's a testament that nobody's hurting for games. You always say nobody got games. Well, I'm sorry, like I can't even keep up with games from last generation, let alone all the ones we got now. I'm still playing 360 stuff I haven't finished. You know?
Yeah, I never finished Crackdown. I've just put a bunch of like 30 or 40 hours into it this week, or past 2 weeks, and absolutely loving doing that.
And how about that?
Really enjoyable.
Kudos to that console and how it automatically does that hardware upgrade without the teams having to go back. That's just unbelievable. Like Crackdown looks really good for like one of the original 360 titles. I mean, you know, like People make fun of us for saying that, but if you go back and play the original on the 360 and then play this one on the Xbox, it's like, damn.
Oh, I played Crackdown 2 on my 360 like a month ago. Played it for like 20 hours, and when I loaded up the enhanced 1 version, I was like, whoa, how'd they do this? It's kind of like, you won't see it in this mixer stream, but it's kind of like the visuals are kind of like this game, you know, they're cel-shaded. There's a lot of flat-looking textures, but everything's really sharp, like this game is if you're playing in person. It's very sharp presentation. All the edges are just nice and smooth and high resolution, you know. Looks good. The Crackdown's running at 4K.
With Sea of Thieves, or State of Decay, sorry, they just announced as well that they won't be doing microtransactions. That's pretty cool. What do you think about that? That's a little bit of a shocker.
Yeah, because it's kind of an online-only game. Well, I mean, there's a single player, but you're mostly going to be playing co-op on that game, so you would expect them to try and screw everybody over. But isn't that sad that that's the norm now? Oh, it's probably going to have microtransaction. That's what everybody says.
Right.
Dude, this level's way too hard. Like, we should have rescued Roland by now.
How many of these damn loaders are there?
I don't know, but I can't even get over to the warden to...
I keep running out of ammo. It's my biggest problem. I'm trying to kill shit. I'm fucking always out of ammo.
I've played this game so much, I've never had an ammo problem like this.
Fucking guns are like out every 5 minutes, it feels like. Jeez Louise. Can't shoot stuff, I ain't got no ammo. Alright, so, alright guys, we got to the portion of the show. We've kind of gone through a lot of our topics. We've had a great discussion tonight. It's been awesome. You guys have been fantastic in the chat too, by the way. So guys are talking about VR in the chat. Hoopy says, you know, the PSVR is you know, not very good compared to the PC stuff, and he's partially right. I mean, I think PSVR is what it is. I mean, consider
it's a lot cheaper though.
Yeah, it's the lowest entry-level VR you can get. I mean, a console's going to cost you $300 or $400, and you get the VR, which, well, recently has gone down. So, you know, to be able to play a console and quality VR at that price is pretty awesome, actually. Yeah, sure, it's not going to compare with Oculus and Vive, but I mean, you know, those VR headsets are more expensive. You need a high-end PC to run them. So yeah, but I mean, I love PSVR. I've been very impressed with it. I have no regrets about buying mine. I love it. I think it's a great experience. It's definitely, you know, it's just I'm enjoying it. I got to say, I've been a lot of fun. Even my wife, who's not a video game person, she played one of my games. She actually got in the Drive Club one, and she thought it was amazing. She couldn't believe it. I even got a friend of mine who's never really played video games, and he played it, and he was like, holy shit. He's like, I could buy a console for this, because it was so cool to him, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of reaction you're looking for, right? Like, to bring new people in,
changing it up, yeah. Wow.
So, you know, it's more, B. Harris, he thinks more of a gimmick now than, I don't think, like, see, I don't think VR is a gimmick in the same sense that, say, the PlayStation Move might have been a gimmick, or the Wii motion controls, where basically they touted motion controls, but half the time all you did was waggle the stick back and forth. I mean, there's far worse things we can say for gimmicks, like Guitar Hero is more of a gimmick, you know, but I think VR is here to stay. I think this is the beginning, and I think the future is bright for the technology, with improvements, of course, and I think the newer consoles will soon give us the kind of power and technology that we need to have a really good VR experience.
Yeah, and what I wanted from VR was like a universal, like, let me put on my headset and play everything with head tracking and stuff like that, but that's not quite there. What the? There's a loader behind me. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is about the experience. You know, VR is not going to replace traditional gaming. I think some people are afraid, Colt. I think some people, the reason they complain is because they're afraid that VR gets popular. All of a sudden, everything that comes out is VR, or got a VR mode in it. And I think that's what they're scared of. I think they're scared that that VR might start taking over more than anything, and that's not the case. That will never happen, I don't think. So I wouldn't worry about it. It's just an altered experience. Again, it's more options. It's a way to play games differently, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy it.
You don't have to buy it, you don't have to play it. I mean, some people, the restriction they've been saying is, oh, I get motion sick. And I can see that. I mean, it is a little disorienting when you first put it on. But that's also partly on the programmers. And that's also partly on due to the quality of VR sets and how it's programmed.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But, I mean, it's not for everybody. And that's bottom line. But, hey, you know, the more the merrier, man. Bring it on. That's all I got to say. But anyway, so guys, we're at the point of the program right now. Colt, unless you got anything else you'd like to add, any topics that you'd like to discuss, go right ahead.
No, I think that's pretty good. I just want to kill this warden before we sign off.
Oh, yeah.
Get a couple shots on him.
Absolutely. So guys, if
Oh
you
my
have
gosh,
any
I'm out
questions,
of bullets again.
if you have any questions
Here
for
it is.
Colt, now is the time to ask. If you have any in the chat, it doesn't have to be video game related. Maybe it's something about his music or what he does, you know, in his life or any of that stuff. So bring the questions, guys. Gonna give you a couple minutes just to jot them down if you like, and I'll let Colt know what they are. We got Siberia saying great show. Hoopy, thank you for the follow. B. Harris, thanks for convincing. He says, thank you, Colt, for convincing him to buy a PS4. I think Colt's like, I wish I'd convince more people to buy an Xbox, but...
Well, actually, I'm sure I have convinced people to buy an Xbox.
You have.
Yeah. Oh, and I absolutely enjoyed it. I gotta get through Uncharted. I'm like chapter 8, even though the game hasn't really gone very far yet. And then I'm gonna play.
Epic show, Armor Reaper says. Epic show, thanks, Armor Reaper.
Thank
Appreciate it. We have a question from Spider-Man. He wants to know: are you looking forward to Red Dead 2?
Of course. Yeah, Red Dead's one of my favorite games. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely cannot wait. It's weird because we haven't heard anything, and it's been delayed a couple of little chunks.
Colt
It's been
said
quasi-delayed, kind of like Crackdown.
Colt told me off air he'll be outside a week in advance with a colostrophe bag on, waiting to pre-order.
In a sleeping bag too. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great. That's gonna be
You know,
an amazing
back when
game,
Red
man.
Dead 2 was announced, I was not convinced I was going to get a Scorpio. Back then, I didn't think I wanted one because I was playing on PC a lot. And then I was worried, like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to play a inferior version on my base Xbox, but that has changed. So I'm excited to play that at like a nice high resolution, and it'll be really fun. Oh my gosh, look at all these bad guys.
You know what's crazy too, Colt, especially when it comes to Rockstar, is how far their games have come with every version they put out. Like, you look at the improvements in Grand Theft Auto, you look at the improvements from like the Red Dead games originally compared to Red Dead Redemption, or any Rockstar game. Like Grand Theft Auto 4 to 5 was huge. What a huge improvement. San Andreas to number 4. Like, you mean, every time they put out a game, you're just like, holy Toledo. You know, like they improve their engine, their graphics, their storytelling, the amount of stuff you can do. It just blows my mind, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And I loved GTA 4 and GTA 5 and Red Dead and Max Payne 3, and yeah, those games always get better and better.
I like what B. Harris says. I'd rather it be late than not great. Absolutely, my brother. That is a great phrase.
Yeah, I
should
agree.
Coin that one. We rather a great game than a late game.
Should.
Yeah, you should coin that one. Totally, man. I agree. Yeah, GTA San Andreas was good because I liked. I don't know. I thought it was funny too. You could go in and work out and get big and get fat. That was an interesting part of the game.
It was good.
The character was great too. You know, that whole scene kind of reminded you of Boys in the Hood, and I don't know, it was pretty cool.
Menace
Society,
it reminded me of Menace Society. Yeah, really good.
I'm hearing some rumors that the next.
It was kind of hard to live up to the.
Go ahead.
It was kind of hard to, like, the GTA 4 did hardly anything compared to San Andreas because the game was so huge. You know, you traded variety for realism, but yeah, I know what you're about to say. You've been hearing rumors that the next GTA is going to take place in Vice City. Yeah, that'd be cool.
No. Poopy says he doubts there will ever be a jump as big as Vice City to San Andreas, and maybe not. You know, I just think you know, at some point in time, there's only so big a game can really get. There's certain limitations that they have to face hardware-wise. I think by the time San Andreas come out, they'd pretty much push the PS2 hardware as far as it was almost going to go, you know, because it was such a massive world, so much to do, you know. But, you know, there is room to go, because if you look at, like, GTA 5, well, it's an amazing game. It was built on the last generation of tech. Now, you look at a game like Mafia 3, which was built for the ground up on this generation, and, you know, it's, well, the game is not as good as GTA. It doesn't perform as well. Like, you look at the graphics and stuff and everything in Mafia, and it's amazing. Like, it's just such a good-looking game, you know what I mean? The characters, the car models.
Yeah.
When you hold it up next to GTA 5, you're like, man, Mafia 3 really does look quite good. It's not that, you know, GTA 5 is a bad-looking game. It still looks great on the X or the Xbox One, but you can definitely see how a game is made with the assets in mind on the powerfuler hardware. You know, the lighting, reflections, textures, you know, all of that stuff, you know, the facial stuff. It's just a lot of little things that gamers don't necessarily see that go into the new games. So anyway, we got any more questions? Because this is your last call. Last call for any more questions for Colt. Colt, I just want to say, man, I've had an absolute blast having you on here. I was excited to get you on. Sorry it took me 12 episodes to get you on, but yeah, we got you here, brother. I appreciate it.
You got to get the schedules lined up. It gets tough, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, you know, only doing one a week, you know, and you promise certain people, or they ask you. If somebody kind of asks me as well, then I usually, you know, there's no rush, you know. Even Rand was kind of like, Newf, I was wondering when you were going to get me on. And I said, well, Rand, I had intentions to get you on, you know, and it was fitting that I managed to get Rand on the 11th, the episode 10, you know, of this. So it's pretty good. So I definitely wanted to get you on.
It's awesome.
Still trying to get crap on here. I don't know if that'll ever work, but I managed to get Mooch on. So
awesome. We went through 3 levels. I leveled up 3 times during this playthrough. Pretty good.
I think Dealer's long gone, guys. I think he backed out earlier. He was probably leaving before Newf cracked out some more stupid, dirty jokes. So we're gonna.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks, guys, for joining in and listening too. I appreciate it.
All right, so we got no more questions, so we are going to end it here, guys. I want to thank again all of you guys for coming out and hanging out with us, every one of you. Too many people to mention, but you guys are amazing. Thanks, Armored Reaper, for sticking it out, especially so late as it is. You guys appreciate it. Colt, if you got any final words to say, and most importantly, let everybody know where they can find you, how they can check out your content, and all of that good stuff, my brother.
They can find me at
Dude, can I tell you?
They can find me at Colt Eastwood.
Colt, do you know what I think about when I hear your little intro? It reminds me of Firefly.
Does it?
Yeah, I get a Firefly vibe
cool.
for some weird reason. I'm not sure you're a fan of that show, right?
I haven't actually watched it. I watched part of one episode on. And I was like, I have too much to catch up on.
Siberia's like, now that you mention it. Later, Spider-Man, you're awesome, brother. Thanks for hanging out. So, anyway, go ahead, Colt. Did you get everything out?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Colt Eastwood. I'm on Xbox and PSN at Colt Eastwood and YouTube at Colt Eastwood. Yeah.
There you go, guys.
And, yeah, send me a message and tell me what you want my next video to be, because I'm always kind of thinking of what do people need to learn about, or, you know, what do we need to talk about? I don't normally do like the latest news or news of the moment, you know, type of stuff, because when news breaks, I can't get to it right away. News breaks and I just started my work day and I can't do anything about it. And so instead of me getting stressed out and like trying to run home and get a video out after everyone else has got one out, I just choose to try to tackle stuff that I think people need to, like, I don't know.
And with your production values too, it takes a while. So by the time you get through it, I mean, some of the stuff is kind of old news by the time you really get into it, right?
Yeah. So I stopped trying to do recent news. You know, like the most recent thing I did was Xbox Game Pass. Instead of just talking about the exclusives coming to Xbox Game Pass, which was the news of last month, you know, the day that broke, I started writing my video and ended up doing Xbox Game Pass versus PS Now.
Free Jack said the exclusive Colt, the exclusive narrative you talked about earlier and it needing to change. Multi-plats are okay. I don't know. I think that's something he's trying to tell you maybe you should do something on.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I've kind of covered in a couple different ways, but yeah, it's like 6 to 7% of the PS4 and Xbox owners are buying the exclusives. You know, it kind of gives you a different look at it. You know, like the biggest game on PlayStation 4 is Uncharted 4, and they sold like 12 million units.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of low for what they have, like 70+ million consoles now. It's just kind of a different way to look at it. It's like, yes, those games are awesome and they're important, and a lot of us have bought a game bought a console because we know what exclusives are coming. But dang it, you guys, go buy your games.
But yet a game like GTA 5, as good as it is, continues to sell and be in the top fucking 5 and 10 almost every bloody month. It's like, who on which console has not gotten that damn game yet? Like, what is going on, people?
Yeah, have you not bought it yet?
Like,
jeez, I bought the game 3 times.
Oh, I know. I had it once on the... I think I bought it once for the Xbox 360, and then I think I bought it... Yeah, and I bought it 3 times. So I bought 2 on the Xbox One, but I ended up trading one for some weird reason, and then I went back and got it again. So, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but it's amazing that game is still going, and it's the only kind of games that seem like they're guaranteed to be in that top, like, bracket all the time. You got Call of Duty, Madden, FIFA, and Grand Theft Auto. Anything outside of those names is kind of a little bit like maybe Halo. I mean, Halo to some degree always has some pretty big numbers, and big numbers considering it's just on Xbox, right? So
yep.
But anyway, guys, I won't take up any more of Colt's time. I know he probably wants to go get some rest or get some chow or take a shit or something like that. So Colt, again, man, I can't thank you enough for being on, man. This was a hell of a great Mixer stream, and I'm hoping to get you on again sometime. Maybe the next time I get you on, it might be maybe it'd be me, you, and Dealer. Who knows? But we'll have a good time regardless.
It's always fun to game.
It is indeed.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate having me on.
Oh, anytime,
sure,
brother.
I'll be talking to you soon anyway.
Yeah. I'll
Thanks,
try to
guys.
get this.
Appreciate you stopping by.
For those who want to catch it again or want to recommend it to your friends, I'll upload this tomorrow through the VOD up to YouTube. So hopefully we'll have the replay ready to go there. So again, guys, thanks so much for hanging out, watching the stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for the follows, the shares, all that good stuff. You guys are amazing. And I'll definitely catch you guys all soon. So have a great night, everybody. This is Newf Nukem. Colt, say your dues.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you online, I'm sure.
Cheers. Okay, for some reason I can't end the stream here. What's going on here? It says somebody's already using it. What the hell?
Somebody's hacked
yeah, I
the
go to
stream.
end the broadcast one at a time. Somebody's already broadcasting on the console. Like, what the fuck? Okay, I guess I'm just going back to the dashboard.